Hey guys,
How's everything going, man?
not too bad, man. And yourself?
Yeah, just just been badassing on the weekend.
Yeah, just getting notes together, and as you do, like. But yeah, really looking forward to this one tonight. We're covering two films technically, and a TV series. I think all of like varying quality, or certainly one of them. But
I definitely would say one of them's a film, one's a movie, and one
yeah,
is, and then
yeah,
the TV series. But I look at it like kind of like just a big ass movie.
right, yeah. It's like a 6 hour epic, really.
Yeah,
And that was quite at times that's going to be quite hard to like get. We're not going to be able to get every kind of detail in, but we'll do our
yeah,
best. You know.
yeah. Definitely not gonna spoil it. Uh,
No, no, I don't think. It's certainly like definitely for the psychic. There's no way to, don't want to spoil that. Well, any of them really. Mask is probably, I think, self-explanatory. I think people will work out that by the halfway point, if not before. But
oh
we'll come
yeah,
we'll come
shit,
on
yeah.
to that.
Well, I mean, it's a you know remake of supposed to have been a remake of House of Wax with Vincent Price and
Right. I can see that. I personally will come on to that, but I personally
yeah,
think it's more like tourist trap in a way.
kind of
Uh,
in a
yeah,
way without the supernatural shit.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
kind of. There's some out. Well, anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to
yeah.
it.
We're talking about it's a mix in it of all of them. But
But let me check the
yeah,
chat right quick. Got some comments here. Anthony's horror more. What's going on, man? He said, "Let's
hey
get it."
Anthony,
Chris C. What's up,
hey,
all?
Chris,
Slash like and sub. Yeah, appreciate it, man.
cheers, man.
Uh, Culture Trini, what's going on, man?
Hey,
Let's see, people saying, "Hey." Chris says, "Yo, Texas should have had footprints as part of my Severn order. I have coming soon."
oh man, Footprints, what a film.
Yeah, yeah. That's a movie that it's my kind of shit, man. I mean, it's not for everybody, you know. It's
That's a film, yeah, that will stick with you as well. Like
yeah,
I think about
it's
that film often.
yeah. You can't you could take 100 people to watch that film and they're gonna have different opinions. You know, like
Absolutely.
what the hell is going on? But
Yeah, yeah.
let's see. I need to get that as well.
Hey, Tex.
Uh, what's going on, Tex? Let's see. I'll wait maybe do it as part of Dracula. Yeah. Save up the money pit for early Christmas. Okay. I think we're just talking back and forth. And get this boss. Gizmo.
Hey,
Oh,
Giz.
what's going on, Wild Wrangler? Sorry, I didn't mean to skip you, man.
Hey, Randall.
Gizmo. Yo. I finished Private Crimes just an hour ago. I used 6 hours of my day. An Italian TV series from the 90s. Who else can say that? Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
I finished it in 2 days, 2 nights. You know,
I
some of
think
us got to work for a living, Gizmo.
yeah. I think I watched part one night. I watched two and three the next, and then so I did it in 3 nights basically.
Yeah, I did it. I
Yeah.
banged it out in 2 nights. Like I did a disc a night, you know.
Spoilers, like, but I was generally really surprised on that TV series, man. It
Yeah.
is so good, so good.
Let's
But we'll
see.
come up with
Got and my wife's here. I'm just like looking through here. It looks like most of the
Hey,
people are
Tash.
talking to each other. Sorry, y'all. Let's see. Everybody's saying, hey, ha. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll get started. We're going to start out with the psychic, man. Did you want to?
Yeah.
You want to start it off? You want me to start it off? How you want to?
This one's probably your kind of out of the three films. We had a chat earlier, and this is your film. So if you want to go ahead, I'm happy with that.
Okay. All right. Well, so
show off the releases quickly.
Yeah. So the psychic. No, I'm sorry, y'all. Kind of unprepared.
That's all right, man.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't remember all these names of the psychic. And I can't speak Italian, but I'm trying. Sette, nero.
Yeah.
The psychic, or Murder to the Tune of the Seven Black Notes, or Seven Notes in Black, or The Death Toll 7 Times.
Oh God, that's a new one. I knew that one before.
Yeah. It was made in 1977. Stars Jennifer O'Neill, or Dardano Sacchetti. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
He wrote it. Plus, he's done a ton of shit, man. Him and Gastaldi are the two best, in my opinion, writers.
God, yeah, easily.
But yeah, it's so it starts out 1959 in England. Is it Dover, England?
Dover, yeah. Like basically, before you get to France, the English Channel, you got the cliffs of Dover. That that's basically where the film starts. Yeah.
Yeah, and you see this woman. She looks distressed, like something's bothering her, and you see her pull up to this cliff in the ocean side, and you're like, what the hell? And then she kills herself, jumps off the damn side of a mountain or a cliff or whatever. And then you immediately see a little girl in Florence, Italy. She starts freaking out. And then you come to find out later that was her mother. And she has premonitions of different things. But
so some kind of psychic link between the two.
Yeah, but so watching it this time, I don't know why I never put it together, but every time she has a premonition, it's like death is close.
Yeah.
When she starts having her when her psychic stuff starts kicking in, it's like there's death involved,
Yeah.
But yeah, damn, I had So Virginia, the little girl, grows up. It's what, I think 18 years later.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I think it's 18 years later. But she marries a rich businessman, and he has a mansion that's been abandoned, and she's an interior decorator. She wants to surprise him by restoring it. Well, when she gets to as soon as she's taking him off to the airport, she starts having these visions and these premonitions of some crazy shit. And anyway, she gets to the house and it gets worse. So she has a vision. I think the walls opened up or something. But I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm not going through the whole entire film. But basically,
we won't give spoilers either. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, I think this is very original, giallo, because each one of her premonitions that she has is a clue. Like in other gialli, it's like you'll see all these different clues throughout the movie, but each one of her clues are coming from her psychic ability. That's what I think what makes it unique.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then as the film goes on, you start seeing everything come together from her premonitions.
Right. Yeah. I think this is probably one of his best ever, most well-made films, I think.
Yeah, and I was looking to see, it didn't make it. It bombed. It didn't do good at all when it came out. I think this was the end of the giallo era.
Yeah. Yeah, completely bombed.
Yeah, it made, so I had to figure this out, okay? Because I've always wondered, it always bothers me about the lira. So it made 595 million lira, which sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's like 327,000 American dollars. You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how much
I
it
was
made.
watching.
So they spent way more than what they made. They lost their ass on this.
Oh,
movie.
easily. Because I was watching an interview on the Shameless release, and it's with his daughter Antonella. She's really knowledgeable about all his films and everything. But she said that Fulci arranged for her to go and watch this in the center of Rome. There's this big theater in the center of Rome. And on opening night, she said she went in and she was gobsmacked. There was just no one there. And they weren't sure if it was because, like, this is quite a, well, how would you put it? Like a medium-paced film. It's no real, it's more of a thinking man's film rather than gore and all this. So they think that really hurt the film.
Yeah, there's not a lot of gore. There's not any like lewd shit. There's no nudity or nothing like that. It's a solid story that Sacchetti wrote, man. I believe. I think it's not my favorite Fulci, but it might be his best made film.
Yeah. This and Don't Torture Deadly, I think, are the two.
Yeah, but
it could, this could have made it kind of mainstream, really. Maybe it was his attempt a bit for a mainstream film.
It did better in America, from what I understand.
Yeah.
But I've heard also that a lot of people said that Jennifer O'Neill was wooden in this role, and
okay, yeah,
I don't think so. Do you?
No, I think again, Fulci's daughter mentions it in an interview. They were kind of going for someone kind of that looks absent-minded, and it kind of makes sense when you see her on screen because she has got that kind of look to her. But she's obviously a very beautiful woman, and I think that makes the film work. I don't feel. Yeah, I've read that she's like people don't rate her either in general or in this part at all. I don't get that.
She's great in this. I think she's great in Scanners too.
Yeah.
She didn't have a lot. She didn't have a lot of big roles. I think this role is her biggest role. I would think out of her filmography.
Right. Yeah, and there was a lot of friction on set for this one as well because I don't know if you know, but she was in a relationship with Matt Perel, who plays a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they were coming off a pretty bad breakup. Fulci obviously. Go on, Dirk. Sorry.
I also heard she had a bad substance abuse problem, and that she got him. There's rumors that got him started as well.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was so many arguments offset, just offset. And I think they even did a take together where they're doing a scene together, and all they did was just trade insults at each other. And Fulci had to actually go back and dub it over it, because they're calling each other every name under the sun. And I don't know, because it's weird, because this was 1977.
It seems strange, though, because I thought they had pretty good chemistry in the film. Like
I did, yeah.
Because they're dating while they're making them, but of course in the film she's married to someone else, but he's a parapsychologist, and he listens to her visions, and she always thinks that he don't believe her, but I kind of think he does believe her.
Oh yeah. Like you say, the two of them to get acting. Yeah. You get none of you don't see any of that. You wouldn't have any hint there was anything behind the scenes going on badly at all. And he's just perfect in that role. I think he was again very underappreciated actor, and I think his life come to an end. I think we mentioned it before on the stream. Pretty soon after this, I think 1983. something like that, maybe a bit later. But you know, he succumbed to drugs. But when you saying that about Jennifer O'Neill, which I didn't know, that's kind of sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
She got him into all that shit. But he was, because I wonder with this was 1977, right? So, and he began, because he'd done a film called The Sister of Ursula, which we've covered in the past.
Oh, yeah.
And he was actually married to the lead actress in that, with the black hair. So obviously, I wonder with the overlap whether he was seeing her, and her and him and Jennifer O'Neill had kind of finished, and he was already moved on. Because that kind of makes sense, because there's only a year less, like, later that he got married, to another actress, which is strange. But
but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just go run through some of this stuff. I wrote some of this stuff down. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So, like I was talking about the premonitions, the clues or whatever. So let's see. So there's an old woman murdered in one of her visions. There's a broken mirror. There's an address on a print of a painting. There's a religious painting. Every time she has these visions, she keeps seeing all these different. And then a wall being torn down, a man with a mustache, a magazine cover with a pretty girl on the cover. A yellow cigarette on a blue stone ashtray. I don't know, man. I just think it's let's see. Oh, I hadn't finished. Sorry. A yellow taxi, a blinking red light, a crack in the wall with a red glow, and a man with a limp, and a wall being rebuilt, and a hidden letter beneath the statue, and a short melody of 7 notes. That's all the clues through every premonition she has. So,
right, yeah.
But I think this one's impossible to figure out. Like, you can kind of, but not all the way.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell all that is. You know what I mean?
Especially
but
because
the entire film, it all comes together, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a few little curveballs in there, whereas again, I won't spoil things.
Right.
Where we think that maybe one of the murdered people is actually, younger than what actually was.
Right.
So we're never completely sure what's going on, which is brilliant. I mean, the cast is amazing, but when you come to the details there, you said, I don't know if you know, but Fulci used to be an art critic, and he was very, very much into his art.
Yeah.
And his daughter said that painting, is there for a reason. Everything, all those details are in that film for a reason. Fulci never done anything by chance, which,
right. No, if you listen to him speak, I mean, you can tell that this is he's I would consider him a genius, man.
Oh God, yeah.
I would. And he was also a doctor,
He was very, like you say, he was a man of different,
he had so many different interests. And it's crazy because listening to him talk about on here, he was saying that he squandered all his money. He wasted it on women and boats and horses and just pissed his money off. And he laughs about it while he's talking about it. But he's like, I'm living life. He said, I don't regret anything and all this shit. And then he says that he was talking shit on Argento a little bit. He was like, Argento ought to try to get a boat and, sell off, because he lives in his nightmares. He needs to quit psychoanalyzing himself. I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
I was like,
yeah.
But yeah.
And it's strange because luckily enough, they made up before he died. And we're actually going to cover a film as well, which like kind of, collaboration between the two. But this film is amazing. I don't get why it didn't do well. I really don't. I think like anything, certainly some of Fulci's stuff at the time just bombed, completely bombed. But like in later, I think Tarantino's a big fan of this one, isn't he?
That's what.
He
Yes,
certainly
yes.
used that tune in one of his films.
Yeah,
sure.
he used it in Kill Bill.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
And he was supposed to do a remake. Did you know that?
No, of the Psychic, you mean?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I took notes on that. He says basically he gave it up to, if it happens, it happens. But he was going to use Bridget Fonda in the lead role.
Right.
But it just never happened. That was like in 2000, I think.
Oh God, yeah. I vaguely, maybe vaguely remember something about that.
He said it's a project in the murky future. I don't even own the rights to that stuff. It's one of those things where it's like if somebody buys the rights to make it, I won't make it. They can totally fuck it up. If it's meant to happen, it'll happen. That's what.
Right. Yeah.
Did. But I think I don't know what he would have done with the Psychic.
I can see why they would have wanted to do a remake because of from what they gather, the feelings of this film didn't do well on that.
Yeah.
But there's no way they could have remade this any better. There's no way.
I don't think Tarantino worries about shit like that though, because he is a fan. You know what I mean? Like, I think he could have probably smashed it with his name. You know, like.
Oh God, yeah.
Just the Tarantino name on it, knowing he directed it, and he probably just left it alone. He takes elements from all kinds of shit. I mean, you can see it throughout all his films, but
he does, Yeah, and he does it to good effect as well, And I know a lot of people hit or miss on Tarantino. Personally, I've not seen a lot of his stuff.
I've seen everything. I think I've seen every film.
I think Death Proof is probably my favorite film, and his last one as well. I like a lot, but don't want to get off on a tangent on that. But
yeah, go on. I think my favorite of Tarantino would be Reservoir Dogs.
Okay, yeah.
I really dig that one. It used to be Pulp Fiction, but anyway, we'll get off of that.
Right, there's some great scenes in this. I don't know if you want to go over a couple of scenes, but there's one where she's like Jennifer O'Neill's character is being stalked around. I think it's like the old picture house by the killer, or by who we think is the killer at the time, the man with the limp, or the man from her visions. Right. And yeah, man, and you got the score that plays with that scene as well. And you get the theme, but it's ramped up into orchestral even. It's really loud and booming to full effect, man. I love that scene.
Fabio Frizzi, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of the best scenes of the film. But going on as well, I don't know if you know, but there's a scene as well, obviously with the magazine cover. It's only a bit of trivia, but there's a girl riding in the background on a horse, which was actually Fulci's daughter at the time.
Okay.
And I think she later went on to have an accident. She fell off one of the horses and that. But he always went back to that film knowing,
Damn. That's crazy.
He used to have this photographic memory where he would go back to certain films for different, and he could remember parts of his life, if that makes sense.
Yeah. He's sharp as hell. Even in his last go, I mean, he's sharp as shit. You know what I mean?
Oh God, absolutely, yeah. Well, how do you feel about the ending to this? Because I think it's very, even though he made the Black Cat with it, which is like an Edgar Allan Poe story, I think this has got vibes of that. I don't know if you got that.
Yeah,
certainly, with that ending is superb.
I did get that, and I kind of see. I mean, I kind of see what Argento's saying a little bit about it, that he copied him.
Okay, yeah.
But not really, man. When I watch a Fulci film, it don't feel like an Argento. The only thing I can say out of the Psychic, I could say that he might have kind of took but I mean, you could say that. I mean, that's hit or miss. I mean, the whole shit with the wall thing. You know, like
Yeah.
the character in Deep Red.
Yeah.
So,
And of course, there was a psychic in Deep Red as well.
right. But I don't know. Because, I mean, there's probably a shit ton of films that are, you know, that there's a dead body in the wall.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I think Sacchetti wrote for quite a lot of different Italian directors, didn't he? So there's going to be crossovers.
I mean, he wrote Twitch of the Death Nerve.
That's right. I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't feel like I'm watching an Argento when I'm watching a Fulci, especially out of his Gialli. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So with Fulci with this film as well, he'd just come off his divorce from his wife at the time, and she absolutely took him for every penny he had. He was very down in the dumps, and then the producer of this film got in contact with him and said, you know, we'd like you to make this film. And he, like, apparently Fulci was so, you know, that he remembered that till the day he died, that this guy had like given him a break. Yeah. And this is the start of what is like a massive period for him. If you think 1977 to 1982, I don't think there's a director, possibly maybe Argento, from 70 to 75 or 77 even, sorry. But is there a better body of work than Fulci from 77 to 82? You think about the bangers he's had in, what, 5-6 years? It's incredible, man, I tell you.
Especially not out of the Italian directors, you know.
Yeah. The only thing I can think close is Argento, with obviously Bird of Crystal Plumage right through to Suspiria is just faultless, with maybe that drama he made maybe being the downfall of that. But yeah, what a talent, man. Fulci. I still, even though he's mentioned a lot now, I still think he's underappreciated. I really do, because not many mainstream horror fans know about him, or they maybe heard of his name, but I don't think they would have checked out anything by him. And that like astounds me, man. Absolutely astounds me.
Hold on, I gotta grab something real quick, man. I'll be right.
Yeah. Okay, man. Yeah. But if anyone, you know, in the chat has got any kind of like thoughts on this film or any of the 3 films that we're doing tonight, then feel free, man. Or any questions, anything like that, just feel free to post them.
All right, I'm back. I had to show this off, man. I got this damn thing.
Oh man, I gotta get that. Yeah. That's so fucking cool, man.
Yeah, I like it, man. I think they did pretty good. It ain't a piece of cardboard, piece of shit like everybody thought. So
yeah, I think Stephen the Dead Pit Boy said it's well made. You know, considering it's like £15 or something, $15.
Yeah, it's $15. Yeah, that's probably like what, 12 pounds or something.
Yeah, you can't go wrong for that, man. I'm definitely going to be getting it. I haven't got the new release either, which I'm going to be getting probably next month or sometime.
Yeah, this thing's loaded, man, with shit. I mean, it's got an extra disc full of features. It's got bonus features on the Blu-ray, and then it's got an extra disc full of features, and then it has the Fabio Frizzi score on a soundtrack.
Oh man, does it have the same track as well? Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
thick ass book.
Shit, I didn't know.
For Severin.
Well, people are moaning about the price, isn't they? $55. But now you mentioned all that is in there, then obviously I don't think nothing's probably worth $55. But you can see you're going to get a decent amount for your money.
And the 4K looks really good. It's not. I think it's the best that this film's going to look. It's not. I think they did what they could do. You know what I mean? It's not the best 4K I've ever seen, but I definitely think it looks a little bit better than the Blu-ray.
I was going to mention that because with the Shameless Blu-ray as well, and certainly on the DVD I got, it kind of looks. I don't know if it's just me, but it kind of looks like this kind of Vaseline like hazy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe he was doing that, you know, for a purpose.
He did that shit in Conquest too, right? Have you seen Conquest?
Yeah, I bet. I haven't seen it, but I've heard people mention that as well.
Okay.
And
yeah, it's all Vaseline looking dreamlike, but this is kind of like that, but it's cleaned up. Like, so like one of the first shots you see, you know, past the whole suicide and shit, is the Rolls Royce. And when that shit came on the screen and it's coming around the corner, I was like, whoa, that shit is fucking bad. It looked really good, man.
Yeah. Really good. And I think with, like his daughter was saying as well, that this is kind of a timeless film as well, because the look, the high fashion in the film, you know, Jennifer O'Neill looks absolutely amazing. The kind of the way that the house is designed, you know, everything just, you know, you could watch it today and totally relate, you know. It doesn't look dated at all, I don't think.
No.
Either, but
I don't think so. I tried to get Tasha to watch it with me. Right. And I said, look, I said, this is the one Fulci film I think that anybody could watch.
Yeah.
And so she sat down, she gave it a try. And she got about 12 minutes in.
I was going to say, what time did she bail? Yeah.
And I was like, what happened? You know, she's like, it's just old. I'm like, all right, okay.
It's probably too slow as well, I would say. But like, unless you're like in your 40s or whatever. I know you know you've got the odd exception like John Grande who like really likes all these films, but it's for now like youngsters today wouldn't, I don't think would get over the pace.
I'm only 2 years older than her, so you know.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Let me catch the chat right quick. Let's see. Just trying to make sure. Because I know a lot of people are talking to each other, so I don't need to read all that. Raw Wrangler says, great intro. I appreciate it, man. It's kind of a short one. I couldn't find a whole lot on these three films. So, and then the Private Crimes was really odd. That was a horrible looking. You seen in the intro. That was just. I couldn't find nothing that looked really good, you know. But
that film was hard to get hold of for a long time.
Yeah. Chris says best into it on YouTube. Well, I appreciate it, man. Private Crimes has some really deep, ambiguous shit to it. Did you catch the real killer from the series? I can give you a clue. The killer was white, flat nose, and was hissing many times during the series. A lot of hate in the killer's eye.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I spilled the entire fucking thing now, but I had to say it since you need a Fulci brain to actually see it. Okay.
Right. Yeah. We got some.
You need a Fulci brain to watch a Martino film. You know.
Right. Yeah.
But Edward's Finette, I gotta say this. She made it very clear. Well, are we done covering the psyche?
I just wanted to mention
okay.
You know the opening with like we get a dummy fall. That's very similar to the one in Don't Torture a Duckling.
Yeah, that's definitely a call for sure.
Yeah. Antonella Fulci actually wants to delete that from the film, but in both films, because she feels that it should be cut from both films. So I find that really interesting. Personally, I wouldn't do it, but exactly, you know, it's there for a reason. It does, like, she's not sure, you know, if you actually think about the logistics of doing that scene as well, it's kind of hard to do it. I know it looks fake, and everyone says, you know.
I mean, I crack up when I see that shit. Yeah. But I still love it. It's got a charm.
It's there, though, isn't it? It's there for a reason.
It don't need to be removed. I mean, come on. What are we doing here? We're gonna cut out everything we don't like, you know, because it's dated.
Exactly.
Or, you know what I mean? I don't give a shit about it. It needs to stay in there, you know.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got on the psychic. I don't know if you've got anything else.
I mean, if we talk any more about the psychic, we're going to go into spoilers. I did throw down all the clues, you know.
Yeah, we
I
will
think,
see that there's some really good twists along the way, you
Yeah.
know, that
Yeah.
possibly no one will figure out, you know, until you actually see what's going on.
I really dig it. It's more. I would say this is Fulci's, because they're all big fans of Hitchcock. So I would say this is his most Hitchcockian type of film.
Yeah, yeah. So what would you rate? How would you rate this one?
What would I give the psychic? I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay, I thought you would have gone higher with that.
Well, there's some problem. There's a few things like, you know what I mean, but
yeah. This is one that I find like completely does me every time, right? Because I've watched this now 4 or 5 times, right? And every single time I've changed my rating because it depends what type of mood I'm in. It's always been a great, it's always, I've loved it, right? I do love it.
yeah.
And it's like goes from 7 to 8, and then it'll go back to a 7 depending on my mood. And then this time round again, it's gone back to an 8. So, yeah, it's kind of a weird one for me like that. But anyone, again, who's watching this stream's not seen The Psychic, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
But be prepared, sit down and be prepared for like a slow burn.
It is a slow burn, definitely.
And I think you'll really get it.
You could see the money they threw into this thing, though. I mean, it's.
Oh, God, it was high budget, wasn't it? I think, yeah.
There's several locations. I mean, it's shot really good, man. I love it, man. And 7.5, I think. I mean, it could probably
solid,
go,
yeah.
But because I think solid. Before I used to give it like a 7 or something, but it came up half a point or something. But
yeah, it's such a well-made film. Yeah.
Hall & Oates is here. What's going on, man?
Hey.
Appreciate it. Let's see. Gizmo's. Everybody saying, hey. Gizmo says, The Devil's Honey. 2 New York Ripper. Oh, number 1, The Devil's Honey. 2, New York Ripper. 3, House by the Cemetery. 4, The Psychic. Damn. Okay. 5, Zombie. 6, The Beyond. 7, Lizard in a Woman's Skin. 8, Cat in the Brain. And 9, The Black Cat. And 10, City of the Living Dead. Okay.
I tell you what, that's a very, very interesting top 10. Because I don't think many people would even come near to that. Having Cat in the Brain is actually in the top 10 has kind of surprised me.
That surprises me too.
And City of Living Dead as well being 10 and not higher.
Yeah,
but like it's cool, man. I love these. Exactly, I love people's lists.
My number 1 Fulci is The Beyond.
Yeah, that was mine for a long time as well.
But it was, I mean, my number 1 was Zombie. So I don't know.
Yeah, I totally, and no, like you say, no one's wrong. I think looking at it now, Don't Torture Duckling's probably my favorite. But
I can see that. It's definitely in my top 5 Fulci, for sure.
I can't see that ever being knocked off. Like even like because the Beyond, I still love the Beyond, I still do. But Zombie has actually gone above Beyond for me. Zombie would be probably, I don't know, my number 2 maybe.
See, Beyond changed places with Zombie with me.
But then you got Haste by the Cemetery, which is definitely be in my top 3 as well. So all 3 could be like on rotation. It could be either one of them.
I will say Fulci said that his the one scene that he thought was the most horrific was in House by the Cemetery at the end. Out of every scene, out of any scene he's ever done. And then he was explaining how I'm not going to go into House by the Cemetery, but
God, we're going to be covering it anyway.
We'll cover it at some point, but but let's see. And Gizmo says the only correct Fulci ranking. Okay, I hear you.
But any of you other guys, put your top 5 or top 10 even Fulci films up. I'd love to, like, you know, read them off. And
Chris
like
says,
Chris, I know Chris hasn't seen everything, but let us know what your top 5 Fulci is, Chris.
Yeah, he says, I love the Black Cat, way underrated Fulci. Yeah.
See, that film was, no one ever mentioned that film. Like, and I remember championing that film for a long time. Because I remember CK from Dead Pit, actually, I don't think you liked it the first time of seeing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, you know, it's got everything like a Hammer, like a UK Hammer film.
Right.
It's got that feel, haven't it? The Black Cat. I don't know what you think.
I wonder though, do you think that, like the Italian films, do you think that they're more accessible to people in the UK than in America? Or
that's a great question, actually. Probably,
because y'all are pretty close to Italy, right? Like,
yeah, not
closer than we are.
yeah. I think we had, like, as you know, the Video Nasties. We had a lot that was cut. New York Ripper didn't even make it. I think it made it on the plane, but it, you know, it got to this country on the plane, and then
that is the most controversial.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. And I would, I haven't seen that for quite a while on New York Ripper. I'd love to do that at some point, because we've been doing
about a year since I've seen it. So
yeah, we are starting to do like a lot of verses. We're going to do some verses streams. And I don't know whether that and Tenebrae would be a fair fight. I don't know. Be interesting. We'll come up with something to put up against that one. Oh, you got Pieces, and I'd be absolutely. I don't know. I'd be torn with that. Probably be on the side of Pieces, but
if you
yeah, we need to watch that.
I'd have to be New York Ripper, man, because I don't know, that film is just. I like Pieces a lot. Don't get me wrong. It'd be hard for me to shit on that one, but
Oh shit! Well, that's a great. Like, I don't know if you want to go ahead and.
That'd be a hard one to do though for me, man, because it's like you said, being torn. But I still have to put a hard line on New York. New York Ripper,
so
man.
If you went for New York Ripper, I'd be a Pieces. I'd go for Pieces. If we could get, like, you know, another 4 people, 2 either side, we could do that. Yeah, at some point. I don't know if Chris would be interested in doing that. Be interested to see again what him and Gizmo, actually. You know, I've never heard Gizmo talk about Pieces. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't hear many people talk about Pieces. Let's see. Let me go through this chat a little bit. And Gizmo says, what does he say? The best, the Virgin Spring ranking. Last House on the Left, Virgin Spring, and Night Train Murders. Yeah, I agree.
What, in that order?
Yeah. So Gizmo's changed his mind. He likes
no, he's having you. He's having you on, I think.
Let's see.
Yeah, he's having you on.
Let's see. Everybody's saying, "Hey, Caveman, what's going on, man?"
Hey, Caveman.
And then Tasha says, "Prayers for your son."
Oh, he's doing a lot better today. Thankfully, he's got like a follow-up appointment now, so hopefully, try and just find out what's going on. To be honest.
Awesome. Let's see. Let's see. Caveman says, Darren, I didn't hear what happened, but you and your family and any of my friends are always in my prayers. That's awesome, man.
Oh, thanks, Caveman. Thanks.
The mayor. I can't imagine Tarantino doing a remake unless it's a remake in name only, like he did with Inglourious Bastards. Yeah, he would completely change it. You know he would. I mean, he wouldn't go scene to scene, just like Fulci. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree with that. Let's see. Okay, they're just talking. Let's see. Pulp Fiction is perfect. Reservoir Dogs is close to perfect. Just find the backstory with Tim Roth a bit weak in the film. Yeah, I don't know, man. Reservoir Dogs, you know, I love that.
I've seen Reservoir
Pulp
Dogs.
Fiction used to be my favorite, but
Gizmo's probably gonna laugh now, but I've never seen Pulp Fiction. Like, I've seen clips of it. I've seen the dance scenes and stuff like that. But yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy to think.
Yeah, I know. I'm on a stream talking about fucking Wax Mask, and I've never seen Pulp Fiction.
You've seen Wax Mask, you haven't seen Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Gizmo says, but Pulp 10 out of 10. Reservoir Dogs 9 out of 10. I also have Love Death Proof. Way overlooked film, and it is sad that Tarantino said he wished he never made it. Yeah, I don't understand that one, because I know there was a whole trip there for a little while. People were championing Planet Terror over Death Proof, and I've never understood that.
I don't get that at all. I don't know.
But,
Death Proof is so underrated, man. I remember at the time people were saying it's a bit too talky, but that doesn't bother me at all.
The dialogue's awesome. Any Tarantino, the dialogue's going to hit.
And it's kind of like two films in one, isn't it? Because you got the first set of kills and then you got the last set of kills. Honestly, that film is so underrated. Death Proof. I love his last one as well. Is it Once Upon a Time in America or Hollywood? That's it. Sorry, I love that as well. I think
it's like an alternate universe of the Manson family.
Yeah, see, he got shit over that as well for the ending with the Manson and that, but. I think that's a near perfect film.
It's okay. I don't mind it. It's not bad by any means, but I've just seen so many other better Tarantino, in my opinion. But
that's understandable. Yeah,
the Kill Bills I'm not big on. I know a lot of people are, but they're okay.
But they're the ones that people say to me, being a lover of all these like Fulci and stuff like that. They're the ones you need to see. And I don't know, because he does, little music cues and stuff from a lot of Italian films.
Well, like Daryl Hannah's character in those Kill Bill movies is taken from a Thriller, A Cruel Picture.
Oh, right. Oh, never. I didn't know that. So, God, that makes sense then with the eye patch. And that totally makes sense, man.
The whole look and everything. But, let's see. Holland says, I saw Death Proof in the cinema, didn't remember it, rewatched it, and didn't love it. Ending is good, though. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Chrissy says, great point, Darren, on Fulci's body of work during those years. With just watching Torso, I would put Sergio Martino on that list.
Oh, God. So there's another question for everyone then, what would be people's top 5 Italian directors?
That's easy.
Bava would be number 1 for you, I would imagine.
Yeah, Bava's number 1. Then it's going to be Fulci. Then it's going to be Argento. Then it's going to be Martino. And then it's going to be Lenzi.
Right. See, how would I go about that then? I've just given the question. I need to answer it myself as well. I would go Argento number 1 all day long for me. I love Martino. I love Fulci as well, and that's so. If I had to be pushed, I'd say Fulci, Argento, Fulci, Martino, Bava, and then Lenzi. But then you've got
Lenzi last.
I would put Lenzi 5 out of those 5 directors, but actually thinking about it, like Aldo Lado would probably be rival.
Massimo Dallamano, man, I
exactly,
love him,
just for those two, what have you done to Solange and the sequel alone. There's quite a lot. Hopefully one day we'll do that. Maybe do a top 10, and we can put some people on the different unknown, Italian directors, because I know fucking way too much shit.
Right. Let's see. The mayor said, wait, no. Okay. Gizmo. I saw it in cinema too and loved it. Seen it probably 10 times and still love it. It is not a masterpiece, but it is still a great movie. Yeah. It's a fun time, man. It never got boring anytime I watched it. I mean, it's
Is that Death Proof he's on about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it's
took it
slow
big.
though. I don't understand that one. It's paced really good. I mean, it's got the. Well, anyway, we don't need to talk about Death Proof right now.
I think I will just mention this. I think it was wrongly marketed as a slasher film, and I don't think it is. Because I remember settling down to watch it, thinking, reading that it's marketed as a slasher film, but there's no way it is. It's kind of, you could say it's got elements maybe,
I can see that,
but it's its own thing, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, he's using the car, But,
yeah.
Not really a slasher.
No, I don't think so.
I don't even think it's really a horror. It's
exploitation. I think,
yeah,
all the
grindhouse type.
Yeah.
Let's see. The mayor says no one Severin. Hopefully, the music box holds up better than Uncle Bill's Dick Demon. Yeah, I think it will, man. It seems. I've played with this thing a few times.
That's so fucking cool, man. Even just to have the thought to do that,
Oh, they knew they was going to make a lot. Gizmo said the only thing I felt Tarantino should have done different was the budget. It just felt too expensive for an exploitation film. My only problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Severin's killing it really with these releases. Yeah, man. I think
they all are. All these top, Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow as well. That fucking Blood and Black Lace I got literally in the post. I'll probably get it Monday. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is. Arrow knocked it out of the park. Even though it's a re-release, though, that's the only bad thing. They just keep doing re-release.
Is there any new extras on that at all? I think there is a few from what I've read.
I haven't dug into it. Not yet, but I will. Let's see. Dirk, you could have gotten 2 films from 101 Films instead of that toy. Yeah, but that's awesome, man. It's killer. And it's not a toy.
I think I'd rather have the psychic music box, to be honest.
Let's see, Chris, Love Conquest. Yeah, it's a fun ride, man. It's like if you took Beastmaster and it's like an acid trip Beastmaster type film.
That's kind of what puts me off watching it, because I don't think that's going to be my thing.
It's dark though. There's some dark shit in there. It's Fulci. I mean, right. It's not exactly like Beastmaster. I'm saying it's a very dark version.
Yeah.
But
I think Contraband would be one I might enjoy, which I've never seen. I've heard really good things about that. Yeah.
Let's see. The mayor's. He says, if she thinks that the psychic is too old, what era would be Tasha's sweet spot for movies? It's really usually like it's got to be at least 1990. So
right, yeah,
and she really likes like crime films and stuff, Now I can get her to watch some older stuff, but she won't know it before we watch it.
Yeah, but exactly, we're all different anyway,
Right.
Not many people like 1960s, 1970s as much as we do,
Yeah, I mean, I can watch something from 1920s, some silent shit,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people ain't gonna watch that, but Gizmo says, "Don't torture a duckling. I find good, but I think the killer is so freaking easy to spot in the film. And on top of that, I don't think the film has the right darkness I love with Fulci." I don't know, man. Don't torture.
Oh man,
you got to think about that. You got to think about that era too. That I mean, you can say that now because that was 1972, right?
Yeah.
So that wasn't like a common thing like it is now. I'm not going to ruin it for anybody who hadn't seen Don't Torture, but I'm saying like you could.
That film is
there's tons of films where the killer was that person.
Yeah. But. Yeah, I don't know what Gizmo's coming from there, because that film is really dark. Like one of his darkest, I think. Yeah.
It's dark. It's dark as shit. It's about like sin. That's how I interpret it. It's about sin. He's definitely speaking on the church. And anyway, I'm not going to go on a tangent about don't torture with the duckling. But,
no, just watch it, people. If you've never seen it, just watch it and thank us later.
Let's see. I did a Argento top 5 live. A few more Fulci to watch. Then I will do my top 5 Fulci live. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I need to check out a lot of his other stuff, man, because his westerns and stuff. I mean, I need to check some of that stuff out.
I've heard a couple of them. Did he make 2? Maybe not made anymore, but I've heard they're really good.
He made
the one. I think is supposed to be amazing.
For the Apocalypse, and then I have one in this this arrow box I still haven't cracked open, but I will. Wild Wrangler says Love Zombie and House by the Cemetery. Yeah, hell yeah,
absolutely, man. Yeah,
House by the Cemetery has a lot of what the fuck stuff in it. Yeah, that. Oh, the Mayor. Okay, The Beyond, City of the Living Dead, Zombie, Don't Torture a Duckling, and The Psychic. Hell yeah. Can't argue with that.
Man, that's a great top 5. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And The Beyond's my favorite as well. So, but it changes places. It's weird how that shit works.
Yeah, a top 5 could just totally be different from week to week.
Right. I would love to do Pieces versus New York Ripper. Okay.
So, Chris, what side would you want to be on? That's the question.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're welcome, man.
Yeah, Rooster. Gizmo, I watched Blood Games. I likes it. Fell asleep watching Gorgo. Shit. Okay. Yeah, man. Glad you're here, man. Let's see. Dirk is also laughing there. I think he's talking about. Is he talking about the Pulp Fiction thing or something?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are probably going to be like.
I seen Pulp Fiction when it first came out, though, like on VHS, and it was like I was mind blown. Then I had to hunt down anything else that Tarantino did, and then the only thing else was Reservoir Dogs, and then I was like, I love that shit even better than Pulp Fiction. So, but
I think with me, I'm kind of like tunnel vision to where I've only really. I like other films, don't get me wrong, but I kind of really mostly watch horror, slashers, giallos, and stuff like that. So, like when you have these conversations, you Gizmo and stuff like that, sometimes I'm like eggs of it a little bit because not so much tune out, but because I'm always interested in what you think, but I can't like give to that conversation what I would love to.
Add to it.
Yeah.
You can't speak on it really.
Yeah, that's
like I can't speak on like when somebody starts talking about, like anime or something. I have no idea. That's
right. Yeah. But it's kind of getting better for me because now we're doing these streams with Gizmo and that. I'm starting to maybe, watch a few more, and I've got like a ton of films off Gizmo as well, which I need to get to at some point.
Yeah, quit bringing all the slashers.
I think I told Gizmo last week. He was probably laughing, but of all the films he sent me, one of the first I watched, I obviously watched The Wicker Man, and then I watched Staying Alive last Saturday, I think it was. And I don't know. I obviously love Saturday Night Fever, and I've never seen Staying Alive, so I put that on. I kind of enjoyed it, but you could tell why it flopped really badly as a sequel. But it was enjoyable.
I was a kid, probably. Yeah.
And like without getting too deep into it, because I know this is a horror kind of podcast, but I think like the lead actress and the girlfriend, was played to John Travolta. I feel that their roles should have been switched, but that probably won't make a lick of sense.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't even remember. I know I've seen it. I just don't remember.
It's an enjoyable Saturday night type film. I mean.
Gizmo says, super happy you liked it. I think it is one of the best late exploitation films made. It is just so insane and stupid, but keep serious. Yeah. If you did not like Gorgo, it probably not a kind of movie for you. Do you like Godzilla, King Kong, Mothra, and okay, Gamera movies? Gamora? I don't know. Somebody's gonna. Again, I'm out of my element. I watched a ton of that shit when I was a kid, but
I can. I don't
got
think
it.
I'd ever. I wouldn't be able to sit down and watch one I don't think.
Let's see. I really like Perversion Story 2. That's a way overlooked early giallo from Fulci. To great ending.
It really is, yeah. I think
I
it's
still
kind
need
of got.
I still need to see it. I still haven't seen that one. And
I
I
haven't
haven't
seen
seen.
Perversion Story.
I still haven't seen one on top of the other. So
That is Perversion Story. One on
okay,
top of
it's
the
the
other.
same thing.
It's just yeah. If you like which you do, I know you like lenses like late 60s giallo.
Yeah.
It's very much in that vein. You'll definitely dig it, but I don't think it'll be for everyone.
That's 1969, right?
Yeah.
That's a year before Bird.
That's right, yeah. But it's kind of, rather than it being like a black glove killer, it's more on the lines of like one of lenses like, Orgasmo or something like that. It's pretty much more like that.
Yeah.
You'll like it. I know you'll like it, yeah.
Let's see, Rooster, big Godzilla fan and all the spinoffs. Gorgo was great. I was just tired. Okay. That's hard, Darren. But out of my head now, I would think of the movies they made and count all the good. Fulci, Pasolini, Argento, and Fellini. Okay.
Sure, I think. Go on,
I haven't dug into Pasolini or Fellini. Like, I know that I hear great things about them all the time, but I haven't really dug into their filmography.
And if you look at the interviews with Dario and Fulci, they can reference like Fellini and Pasolini all the time. But if Gizmo wants to give us some suggestions of what to cover, I wouldn't mind covering a few of their films.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't go overboard. Maybe do 3 of the best films of each director, and obviously Gizmo will be well kind of, informed on all that stuff as well. So
I'm really surprised that Bava is not as. So I just found this out. He's not as popular in Italy as he is in America.
No, not by a long way. Yeah, I've read that as well.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, he could have. He was given a chance to go over to America and he just didn't take it. Where Dario Argento took his opportunity and majorly bombed, didn't he? Really. So it's a hard thing to do to conquer America after Italy. Not many directors, if any, apart from those 2 great ones we just mentioned there, maybe Pasolini and Fellini, but I don't know of any. Fulci to a certain degree, a lot of his films did well over in America.
Yeah. But see, we if you think about it, like a lot of the films from the Italian film industry wasn't like it's in recent years, yeah, but not like as a kid, like not many, you know what I mean, that you grew up with.
Right. Yeah.
That's what's insane too, But we're in a damn good time now because I mean you pretty much see from anywhere now. So.
For older films and stuff, all at the touch of a button now, And I always laugh when you hear people say, "Oh, it's not the same in the olden days. It was all about the chase of, finally tracking down a film and all that." But shit, you would never go back to that. You'd be out of your fucking mind to want to go back like that.
Rooster says, "I am a fan of stop motion as well." Okay, yeah, I dig it.
I like it done in certain films, like Evil Dead and stuff like that.
I really like that new one, but I can't think of it. Damn, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, Death Proof is not a slasher; it's a crasher. Yeah, that's
totally agree, man. Yeah,
maybe I put Lamberto Bava on the 5th just because of 3 films. No, not Lamberto, man. I'm talking about Mario. Oh, you're talking about you? Okay, all right.
I think Lamberto would definitely make a top 10 for me.
Mario's got to be number one for me, though. No doubt about it.
See, it's hard to argue as well because apart from Shock, I don't think he's done a bad film.
Yeah. But let's see. Wild Wrangler, need to watch Death Proof. Yeah, man. Rewatch. Okay. Nice, man. I thought you said it was boring. I don't like the story that much in Gorgo, but the effects is insane good. Okay. Love stop motion. Yep. Let's see. Wrangler and Rooster. Check out the trilogy from Norbert Pfaffenbichler. If you're into stop motion, he mixes stop motion with all kind of crazy shit. Love films from 1930s to 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
A story can be dark in a film, but the way a movie is made can also be dark. You can say Truman Show is the darkest movie ever, but it's made like, yeah, it's a pretty dark movie if you think about it.
I've actually seen that one as well. I enjoyed that one.
I just think Don't Torture is made in a kind of light tone compared to his other masterpieces. I don't know, man.
I don't agree with
that though, brother. I just
There's
don't.
no way I agree with that because even with like the shit you got going on with the kids in that film as well, and that's not to mention, the Baba Boucher character, and there's really fucking dark shit in that film.
And Florinda Balkan.
Yeah, with her murder scene.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be one of my top 5 Fulci scenes ever made. I think
that's hardcore.
The fucking music in that scene, like, generally fucking moves you when you see it. You know.
We got the Captain B plan in here. Master Time, Fulci series Western. Yeah, man.
That's the one I hear good things, about.
Master Time? Yeah. I haven't seen it. I still need to see that one too.
Is that the same? Like Trumpets of the Apocalypse, are they the same? Because I know it's all different titles for stuff.
I'm not really sure. Let's see. Chris C. New York Ripper. I love Pieces, but Ripper is a Fulci master work. Yeah, man.
Okay,
I definitely got to take Ripper over Pieces.
Yeah, I'd have to try and get two for Pieces then.
Sci-fi, fantasy, and horror plus anime. Okay. The kills in Pieces, though, are way more visceral. God, I love them all. Yeah, it's tough, kind of. But once I keep thinking about New York Ripper, it's just, there's no.
New York Ripper is definitely the darker film out of the two. The Pieces is just fucking batshit crazy and just bonkers. And I love the two again, and I always say I love the two, but I would just slightly favour Pieces. I could watch that film anytime, anywhere. I just love it.
The mayor says Ivan Press did a New York Ripper versus Maniac comic book, so now they need to do Pieces versus New York Ripper comic book. Yeah.
You could do Pieces versus.
I mean, I can't think of. I mean, that really has to be the two perfect films to go head to head, right? Like,
yeah.
If you're gonna go put a movie against New York Ripper,
I think so. But
let's try to think of something better. But yeah,
if you're going in that same year as well, you've got Tenebrae as well, which, but I don't think that'll be a fair fight because I think Tenebrae would win out.
Tenebrae. That's. I don't know. They're kind of. I don't know.
I think the only thing putting them together is that the actual year rather than being similar type film.
Yeah.
But then you've got Nightmares in a Damaged Brain. I mean, what would you put against that?
Yeah, we have to think about that.
I'd love to do that at some point.
Chris C says, "Me Too Wild, only old school anime most of the time though." Gizmo, is it Staying Alive? They are banging in the car outside the disco, or is that Saturday?
That's Saturday Night Fever, that one.
4 for the Apocalypse, Massacre Time, and Silver Saddle are Fulci's westerns. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Thanks, mate. Yeah, Massacre Time is a different. Yeah,
Okay. I have.
that's something we need to do at some point, I think.
Right. Let's see, Gizmo says perversion story is much more psychological sexploitation than anything else. I think it feels older than it is, but I just love the style of it.
Yeah. Great film.
Start with 8.5 from Fellini. If you like that, you can dig into his more Coast Vita and my favorite Satiricon, but they don't do horror. It's art house. Okay.
Is that? Does he mean La Deutsche Vita? Maybe, because I've heard that's really good as well.
Yeah, that's probably it, right?
Yeah, it's probably but 8.5 is on a lot of top 10.
I've heard of 8.5. I've just never seen it.
I'm open to give it a go. Yeah.
Fellini Move. Fellini Satiricon 1969 is a trippy movie. Like Martino, I need to get more into Lindsay's films as well. Yeah.
Oh, God, man. Yeah,
I mean, to be honest with Lindsay, I think his strong suit was the Poliziotteschi.
Yeah, I do as well. Yeah. I think, like, there's not much in it. I think his Giallo films is, like, as good as a lot of the top directors.
Yeah.
But they're a different kind of Giallo film, you know? They're more inheritance type plots and stuff like that. But
right.
Unless you come onto like Eyeball, which is just fucking plain, just fun, nice.
That's a fun one.
But yeah.
Almost experimental films in their time, but Fellini is the biggest name from Italy. I had to see Dos Vita 3 times before I liked it. Okay. Yeah, definitely heard the name. I just never. I mean, hell, I might have seen one of his movies, just didn't know it. But who knows? I
think from what I've read, everything, like Dirk as well, would probably love those films. I think I would as well. But it's just getting the time to actually sit down and give one like 100% of your attention and that.
Yeah.
But it's coming. I wouldn't be surprised if we do it at some point.
Let's see. The mayor says, I still need to check out both of Fulci's White Fang movies. Yeah, I haven't seen those either.
Yeah, and a lot of his comedies as well, which no one ever mentions, but, you know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind watching one or two.
He did a ton of different genres of film.
Yeah, during the 50s, I think he did.
He kind of fell into the horror, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see. The mayor, does 2. I want more than the Terminator on 4K. Okay, those 2. Oh, that's Gizmo. He's talking about.
Oh, right, yeah, he's talking about
screwed up over here. My bad.
The Fellini film, and yeah.
Okay. Satiricon is like Fellini's Antichrist. I feel he just got a lot of sadness out of him into that film. Pasolini, you should read up on before you dig into his films. I started with like the most with 120 Sodomos.
Yeah.
Is that
that's 120 Days of Sodom.
It's Salo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And hated it, but after I read about him, okay. I love everything. After I found out about his story, he was killed because of his work. Yeah, I heard that too.
I've read that, yeah.
I think the same happened to Dallamano, which I'm always talking about Dallamano. I love his shit, man. But
oh God, yeah.
But yeah, man, the psychic, man. That was like. Was there anything else you wanted to add to it?
No, man. I think we covered most of what. Yeah, if not all of what I wanted to say.
I like that.
But yeah, just a great film.
I dig that too. They did.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah, I think one of his underrated films. I think Fulci. that no one or barely anyone used to talk about. But now with that release, it will get mentioned a lot now, and I think it will get rightly so. Become one of, I think, people's favorite Fulcis in time.
So I had to know what, like, because I always hear in these films where they're talking about the lira, right? So I had to see what the hell exactly is what. So $1 American dollar is equal to 1,815 lira.
That blows my mind.
1,815 lira equals $1 American dollar.
So you could have like fucking $100 in your pocket and feel like a millionaire over there.
Yeah.
But a millionaire over there obviously doesn't mean what it means here in America, like,
Yeah, but I'm guessing that it's just it's still probably come out the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't really know. I need to check out their ratio or whatever, but kind of crazy. But yeah, man, I'm gonna let you take this one away if you want.
I'll tell you what, man, this one blew me away. It's Private Crimes. So this is like a TV series that was made in 1993 by Sergio Martino. It's like a mini series in 4 episodes. And this one, completely fucking blew my mind when I realized how good this is and how, obviously underseen it has been for so long. So I had like a really kind of grainy bootleg of it, which I never got around to watching because I was always kind of holding out.
Yeah.
But yeah, what can you say, man? It's basically a TV series which is set in Lucca, a small, like, Italian town. It sees the death of a businessman, Marco Pierboni. He's shot dead in the garden of this villa early on in the film. And then we have the story then of Edwige Finesse, who's a reporter. She has a daughter who basically, because it all gets a bit murky at times because there's so much to go into with this film. But basically early on, these 2 characters get killed, the businessman, Marco, and the daughter, I think it's Sandra.
Right.
And it's kind of like a mystery then to work out who the killer is. And there's a lot, and I mean a lot of twists and turns along the way. It's kind of, people say it's Italy's version of Twin Peaks. But for me, it's a lot darker.
I kind of think that they maybe marketed it like Twin Peaks because, like, even look at the cover. It kind of feels like Twin Peaks when you look at the cover.
Yeah.
The music that music plays over and over, and that sounds like a Twin Peaks kind of theme, but that's it. And maybe the whole, without spoiling shit, about her daughter, know?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of that. That's it. Though.
I think
there's no weird, there's no like, real extraordinarily weird shit going on like in a Lynch Twin Peaks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's none of that. This is this stays dark and consistent at all times.
It's very serious and very, very much. There's no log lady. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that piece of music you said is basically the start of the theme of Twin Peaks, but it's got its own little spin on it. And for me, it's fucking amazing when it's played loud. I'd love to have maybe got the same track to this because I love the Twin Peaks theme, but this I can't get it in my head either. It's fantastic. And it's used brilliantly throughout this TV series, I think, I don't think it's overused, even though it's used a lot. And it's used more when there's kind of emotional moments, during the film.
Yeah.
But, so basically you've got these 2 characters, like he's a businessman, he's been shot dead. She's a young girl, I'd say of 19 years of age. She's dead. We've got a lot of kind of, there's anonymous letters being sent to all these characters who are basically connected to these 2, deceased people.
Did you get the vibe, like, Did you get the vibe kind of like it almost felt like soap opera in that way, where like everybody knew each other?
Yeah,
That's the only way I mean.
Yeah.
I don't mean like a soap opera, but like
I know what you mean. Yeah.
every character knows each other. Seems like.
Right. Yeah. And I'm just mad because I would have loved to have seen this back in when it was first aired. If this had been shown on UK TV, I think I would have fucking lapped this up, because it's 6 hours, mine. So people put that into mind.
Right.
But for me, I was always wanted. Oh fuck! I want to watch the next episode. I want to watch the next episode. It just had me gripped all the way through. I don't think there's any real slow spots for me anyway.
I kind of felt that it dragged a bit.
I can see why people would say that, but for me,
they stretched it further. But I think they had to because it's made for TV.
Right, and Sergio says that, I think, in the interview, doesn't he? He says something about the phone calls. There's a lot of phone calls between different characters. Calls.
They interfered with. He didn't have no power over that, but
right, yeah.
But he did praise the shit out of Edwidge as being the producer, because she didn't. She gave him whatever he needed, whatever he wanted, as far as what to make it. She wasn't tight. She wasn't tight with her money. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And I was surprised when I realized that she was the producer. But
she made that very clear too in her interview. She was like,
"Right,
I'm not the executive producer. I'm the producer." I was like, "Okay."
And man, I tell you what, to actually produce something of this standard, and her acting in this as well is phenomenal. I think it's one of the best. And I know we say that a lot.
I love their relationship that they have still after all this time. Because she called him up and was like, "Hey, come do this."
Yeah, because she was actually married to his brother at one point, Luciano.
Yeah. That's what he said, that they're like brother and sister.
Yeah, which is kind of weird in a way with some of the scenes he shot of her, but yeah, that's a different story.
Well, I mean, he looks at her like his sister, but she's with his brother.
It's hard to look at her like a sister, to be honest, for any man. But
well, I think he was thinking about his brother.
Right. Well, he was keeping it to himself, probably.
Yeah.
But we got Edwidge Finesse, who plays Nicole, the mother of this murdered girl. We got Ray Lovelock, who was fucking superb, I think, as the detective. And that's another guy, man, just so underrated. You think about Almost Human.
Yeah.
We won't mention, the Fulci film he did, Murder Rock, because I know Steve laughs when I say
Murder Rock. You don't like Murder Rock?
I love Murder Rock, but I just don't think he's got that much of a prominent role, or he's.
No, he don't. Just like, what about
just like a bit back?
Any in Oasis?
Oh, he's brilliant. He's brilliant in nearly like 90% of the stuff that he's used to full effect, if that's the best way of putting it. You've got Paolo Malco as well from Haste by the Cemetery. He plays Massimo, the murder man's brother. And you've got Alida Galli as well, who plays Matilda, who's the mother of the dead, businessman. So you're talking fucking top of the fucking cream, I think, of Italian, cinema in general. I think certainly the giallo and the horror.
And that's something that Edwidge had mentioned too, that was like a dream come true, her to be able to share a scene with and to work with Alida Valli.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, it's quite sad that I watched the interview with Sergio, and at this time in her life, her eyesight was going really bad. I'm talking about Alida Galli, and she had to have the script sort of printed out 3 times the size so she could read. But she's great.
Still sharp though. She's sharp.
Yeah. She's fucking plays menacing. There's something about her, you can't put your fucking finger on it, but there's something. Because for a lot of this film or this TV series, I actually put her as one of my main suspects at one stage, because you just can't rule her out because of the way.
I ruled her out. I ruled her out though. I did rule her out because it was just hitting me over the head with it too much. I was like,
right, okay, well, yeah, we'll come to that. So,
yeah,
yeah, well, we'll come on to that then, because it took me by surprise who the killer was. I had no idea.
yeah.
But with this film or this TV series as well, there's some great fucking shots. I mean,
Oh yeah, man.
we get the look with the killer's eyes as well. There's the whole scene in the villa early on where basically I think Chiara is one of the Sandra's best friend, and Paolo's Sandra the murder's girl's boyfriend. They go to this villa and they see, like, through the window, a woman with like a sword holding the head of a man. Um, and I tell you why, it's fucking great, because there's a whole backstory as well to that with like a ghost,
Right.
which I was like, yeah, this is great. This is fucking right up my alley all the way through. But yeah, I mean, if you go through, you could either like do this in 4 episodes or go through the whole lot.
Yeah, the way like I said, the way I did it was I kind of binged, well, not, I guess you'd say, I just watched the first disc one night, and then I watched the damn special features, which I was glad nothing was spoiled. You know, I'm glad
That's why I didn't. Yeah,
I'm glad
that's
they did
why
it.
I didn't watch the Edwidge. Sorry, Dirk. Go on. Sorry.
No, I'm saying I was just saying I'm glad they did it that way, where when you finish the first disc, you can go ahead and watch the special features on, which is an interview with Edwidge, and that was good to see. And she really looks good still, man. Like, for her, she's got to be older. Like, she's got to be in her 70s, right?
Oh God, easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you say she'd made a film with Privati fairly recently? Or
Yeah, she's got a new film coming out. It ain't out yet because I tried to look it up, and
right.
I didn't catch the name because it was all in Italian, and it's a long ass name too. I was like, "What the shit?" But I looked it up. It's coming out this year. So
there's, I'd definitely be interested in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we come up to the end of episode 1, and again, I won't spoil things and that, but there's like a psychic angle in this film as well, where we have this psychic, and she's basically trying to find out who the killer is. And then we got a very moving scene right at the end of the first episode with Sandra's mother, Edwidge. Like, she basically finds the body. Like, this psychic has basically led them to this murdered girl's body. I don't think that's giving anything away.
Right.
And it's quite a moving scene, because you got, I think Edwidge is fantastic in.
I think this is her strongest as far as actual acting. I really do.
I think so as well. Yeah, considering it's done over a 6-hour thing as well. It's not just a 90-minute film.
No,
and she's consistent all the way through as well.
Yeah, it's not. She's believable. Like, I can see that. Like, even though she's much older than when she did the Jolly, she's came into her own. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not. You're actually watching her for her acting ability now.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you mean, because she's covered up. Obviously she's in her 40s. I think the chemistry between her and Ray Lovelock comes through as well. I think they've got like an on-screen chemistry together.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of like a love story as well, involved in all this like murder and mayhem. But it's not what you think if you're going into this expecting a Dario Argento, slash and bloody.
Yeah, you're expecting a giallo. I would say it's not. I mean, I guess it is by what giallo means,
Yeah.
It's a murder mystery series.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is, which is
it's a giallo, but without any of like
and it don't have the violence.
Exactly.
The giallo generally have,
Yeah. But the second part, then we get into like this reporter comes on the scene, and he's trying to find out what's going on as well. He's kind of a first at loggerheads, I think, with Edwidge Finesse character, but because they're both reporters, they kind of start to get on really well and bounce off each other, you know, with what's going on. You know, they're trying to find out. But I like the Paolo character as well. I think he was like, I don't know the actor's name or anything. I didn't write it down, but he was a really fucking talented actor. You know, for a youngster.
The young guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did good. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, he was like.
I do feel like they stretched it a bit, but I think they had to. So I didn't hold it against it, you know. But it definitely kept me. It definitely. There's so many red herrings too, so it definitely kept me like, who in the fuck is the killer? You know, like who is doing all that shit? You know, but
like you say, you've got 6 hours to fill, so there is like we won't be able to mention every single character because there's this one family that, you know, of the murdered man. You've got the mother, the brother, and there's so much different shit going on, you know, with bloody like paintings going missing and different things. There's blackmail. There's all these different characters, and every single one of them I think is superb and adds to the film or to the TV series. But it'd just be too much to mention them all. But I think a lot go down like kind of a blind road and don't come any further. And then towards the end, obviously, it picks up and we kind of get, you know, to see what's going on. I didn't see the killer coming, but
I seen the killer. I figured out who the killer was. There was an hour left in the film.
Okay.
About an hour left is when I finally figured it out.
Right. Okay, yeah, because after that as well.
Yeah, I think anybody that's you know, watches enough murder mystery stuff or giallo stuff would as well. You know.
I'm not sure. Like an hour to go was actually I actually thought it was. I kind of had 3 or 4 people in mind.
Okay.
But yeah,
I won't say it now, but I'm interested what you thought at a certain scene, but I'll talk about it after the stream.
Okay, yeah. So you've got Chiara, who's like, this is another great scene I think from the film. The murder girl's friend gets attacked, and there's this peeping Tom character as well, the teacher. He was fucking amazing as an actor as well. Really creepy. Like
Gizmo is right about the cat. I mean, the cat even throws y'all.
Yeah.
The cat throws. They use the cat as a red herring big time.
Exactly, yeah, and that's why. For one scene anyway, that's why I thought I knew who was behind it all. But that'll make sense when people, you know, if people watch. I hope people watch this. Please fucking buy this and support this in every way.
Yeah.
But she gets attacked late at night by this peeping Tom, and it's quite clearly you can see it is this peeping Tom as well, which is no spoiler. Because I thought, shit, have they actually made a mistake there and we can actually see his face now it's on Blu-ray? But no, it was meant to be seen. And then he has a whole backstory of like he attemptedly raped and killed someone and he got acquitted and all that. So there's lots of different stories spiraling off all these.
Definitely some subplots and for sure.
Yeah, like a lot to take in. I think he was supposed to have killed someone called Berta Schwartz like 8 years ago, and he kind of come to this town to try and make a fresh start and all that. But then you think early on, you know, they're not going to like reveal the killer that early, so I knew it wasn't him. So you kind of go that way throughout the whole film. That's the way I do it. I kind of like disregard certain, you know, thinking could be them, could be them. But yeah.
Let me catch the chat. Right.
Yeah, go on, man. Yeah. Because this TV series is a lot to take in.
Yeah. Let's see. Texas at the mayor. How about a Ramones versus Pieces comic book? Let's see. The mayor's laughing. Let's see. Gizmo, Private Crime as one of the best pussy rolls ever. The cat is just amazing, and it dropped by to the entire show. Gizmo is also a Persian cat. Okay.
That cat is, it's frighteningly fucking
It is
well
kind of
acted.
got a creepy vibe to it, for sure.
Oh, God, yeah.
They did, and Archie meets the Ramones, so why not? Yeah. For me, Private Crimes was okay. Plus, I give it a strong 5 out of 10. Some stuff that was amazing, but the story I did not get into. Okay.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
I'll tell you my ranking, like, once we get through covering it. The first episode was 7 out of 10. I agree with that. The second episode, 9 out of 10. The third was 4 out of 10. And the fourth episode was 3 out of 10. It's weird because the episode that has least action. Yeah.
I certainly think the third episode.
Oh, he said the episode with the least action was the one I liked the most. Okay. It felt like the most expensive giallo ever made. Crane shot in every 3 shot, steady cam every time they moved, dolly track, car rigs, etc., etc. Yeah, they had plenty of money. Sergio, he was free to do what he wanted, and Finette, she just let him do it. You know.
This was like one of the highest rated Italian TV series of 1993 as well.
Yeah,
and I can see why.
Got hella ratings, and that's what Martino was saying. He didn't understand why there wasn't a sequel to it. Private Crimes was shown on TV in Norway during the 90s as an Eastern crime. I reconned that during episode 2.
And that makes me jealous of Gizmo, like, totally now, because I would love to have seen this back in the day.
Did he? Man. So he's seen it back in the day?
Yeah, he's saying he's seen it back in the 90s.
I didn't know if he saw it. He said it was shown, but I don't know if he saw it. So.
Yeah, I think it showed it in Norway. I don't think it got. It obviously didn't get an American.
I never heard of it until this release. So,
or a UK probably. Certainly TV. I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah.
Do you want me to?
Go ahead
with the comments or?
The comments were good. We're caught up.
So at the end of part 2, we get this, because every episode seems to finish on quite a dramatic, like any TV series, on a dramatic happening. Yeah. And we get Paolo is basically being like chased and shot at by the police, and then it finishes the episode 2. But then episode 3, like I think Gizmo said, is probably the weakest. Like, you know, if I had to like say there's a weak thing, I don't think
I agree with that for sure.
It kind of goes off a little bit too much into like the blackmail kind of, you know, all that shit. Because I was more, for me, like when Edwige character and all that shit, I thought was better. But when we get into like the Massimo, and it wasn't as good. Because you got the Annie Selby, Massimo's lover, comes into it as well. She's actually a decent character, but there's a lot of this bloody blackmailing shit going on, because isn't he like he's like a gambler, so he's heavily in debt and he needs to sell paintings, and there's a whole subplot then of this housekeeper, who we shall mention as well, was fantastic actress whoever played that part. Her and her son come into it, where he's a painter and he's actually forging paintings. There's a whole subplot of all that as well, which
like I said, it's a lot. In a way, it's a lot like a soap opera. In a way, you know, it's not.
Yeah, I totally get that.
I think the acting's way better than any soap opera that I've seen. But
like what Gizmo said, I think this is the most expensive giallo you'll ever see. I think it just looks $1 million.
It's shot in Luca, right?
Yeah,
it's all shot in Luca, so it's like everything looks amazing. Like,
yeah,
and that's something else Martino was talking about, that, you know, people always travel to Florence or Rome, but they don't never go to stop at Luca. And he's like, there's so much amazing shit in Luca, you know. So
absolutely, man. Didn't he say the tourist sort of people went up after watching this series? People were flocking there apparently for like a year or two later,
right.
just to see where it was made.
Yeah.
And it's a great, like, fantastic backdrop because I don't think I've ever heard of Luca before this film. Like you say, we heard of all the big ones. Turin, like Argento lived filming in Turin.
Yeah.
But this film looks a fucking $1 million, man. I tell you. And
Oh,
I don't know if that's because you say Edwige had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
And she seems a type to me that would not take fucking any shit from anyone. So she got her stamp on this big time, her and Sergio.
Right. And
What
she
a pair, man.
got who she wanted to get, too. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. So I think Sergio said as well, the actors as well was a good blend of older actors and young. And he said there was at least 2 youngsters that he thought, like, could go on to really amazing things. And I think the character Chiara's actress went on to do pretty decent things certainly in Italian TV. But yeah, we got all these anonymous letters being sent in and all the extortion and stuff like that in episode 3. But the episode ends really well, I think, really interesting. There's a message that's been sent. Basically, there are 10 letters. You're only halfway there. If you find the others, you will find your daughter's killers.
Right.
And so we end episode 3 on that note. And I'm like, shit, man. I just wanted to get on to the next episode every single time because I fucking loved it. I put this across big time, I think. But yeah, we're coming to the old sort of part 4 now with all the kind of red herrings kind of going different ways. And then we won't give away who the killer is, obviously. But like Dirk said, he can have his kind of views on what and why, you thought it worked or didn't. I don't know if you thought it worked or what.
Yeah.
I think the killer worked and the motive and all that.
Yeah, definitely. I do.
Yeah, it completely makes sense as well because I'm not like you, I didn't work it out, but I mean, after I was thinking about it a lot and then going back to different scenes in my head, and it's like, yeah, kind of. He doesn't fuck around, he doesn't play tricks with you, I don't think, too much. At least that's, I've only seen it once, but from what I can remember, it's all legit, isn't it? The killer. There's no tricks or anything,
No. There's no. I like I said, I think because I remember looking to see what the time was left when I figured it out, and I think it was like 54 minutes left. Is when I finally figured it out. So that's still a long ass time. Like, you know what I
mean? Yeah. Do you think that took away a little bit from your actual overall view of the series?
I think they wanted it to be kind of like they didn't all the way come out with it, but I think that they wanted you to kind of maybe figure it out in a way.
Right. So
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm intrigued now so if I mention something now.
Well, like I said, we'll talk about it after because I don't want to ruin it for nobody.
I won't. I'm not going to ruin it. What I'm going to say is, was it the point you worked out the killer? Was it the point where we have the panty scenes? Is that where you worked it out? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that now. Like I said, I went back and I actually thought about that scene.
Yeah.
And it is kind of obvious when you think about it. But I was so kind of wrapped up in all the different characters that it was staring at me, obviously, in my face. But
that's what it does well, too, because it has so many characters, so many red herrings. So.
But yeah, there's a whole subplot of the panties. Basically, the killer took off the murdered girl.
Yeah.
And there's a whole subplot of what happens to them. And yeah. And then you've got, again, I'm not going to give nothing away, but we've got this one character who's been murdered. This is not, giving too much away. She had applied to get a death certificate of a certain character in the film or who's mentioned in the film.
Yeah.
And there's that. And I thought that was really clever because at the start of the film as well, at the start of the TV series as well, we see that shot in the rain of her arguing with somebody.
Yes.
Murdered Sandra.
That's
brilliant.
That's like probably my favorite of the whole thing.
Scene of the film, yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to say though because I really like when Edwidge and Alita Valley share that scene together too. But it's
that's amazing as well. Yeah,
that's just maybe it might not hit as hard for somebody that don't watch a lot of Giallo and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that scene, that opening scene in the rain, reminds me so much of like Argento. It's unreal, man. It just got an Argento feel about it, you know.
I could say
for
Bob,
me anyway.
I could say Bob as well.
Yeah,
you know?
It's kind of Twin Peaks. The way I would describe the whole thing is Twin Peaks meets Dario Argento, and that's I don't want to.
Sergio Martino. Let's give the man.
Exactly. I was going to say I don't want to discredit Sergio Martino in saying that, but I mean, if I had to simplify things for people who maybe don't know about Sergio Martino,
right?
That's the way I would describe it to them. Yeah. But yeah, obviously, it is Twin Peaks meets Sergio, but
except
it's got so much.
There's no weird David Lynch shit in this at all.
Exactly. Yeah. This is straight. If you love your films or TV series, straight. There's no fucking goofy scenes or anything like that.
No log ladies and shit like that.
Yeah.
Or no little people dancing backwards while they're dancing forward and shit like that. You know. Exactly.
Yeah. And I think the whole ending, like we just said as well, with what turns out to be, you know, because there's kind of two endings really, if you think about it, because there's another fucking twist that comes after that as well, which we'll mention.
It is kind of, but it was just
kind of a twist.
It was just to do something else, though. I don't want to say too much. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, just to do with the latter, basically. Right. Yeah, I won't mention too much. But yeah, for me, I give this a strong fucking 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Because I know I spoke to Dirk early on in the week, and we was talking about like the rewatchability of this. For me, it's going to be an annual, at least fucking once a year, maybe twice for me. Even though it's 6 hours, I can guarantee. I think this is going to be my comfort food kind of thing.
Okay.
And I'm even excited to watch it again, you know, and I've just watched it for the first time and I want to go back to it. So that's a great sign for me. Dirk said not so much, did you?
Yeah, I probably, you know, I will watch it again at some point, but I can't see me going back to it. You know, I'll probably go back to it a couple years. You know, I'll probably check it out in a couple years or something. But I'm definitely glad that I have it. I mean,
oh god, yeah,
just absolutely. For the interviews alone. If there was nothing else, those current 2023 interviews with Edwidge and Sergio are awesome, man. Because
definitely, I can vouch for the Sergio one I've seen.
And
he comes up with all different shit in that interview as well. He talks about Case of Bloody Iris. Yeah. Not Case of Bloody Iris, Case of Scorpion's Tail, sorry. Right. And Strange Voice and Mrs. Ward. So there's little tidbits in there, you know.
He goes through the history with him and Edwidge, and then she goes through it too, and then she explains like how she came about. I mean, they're close to 30 minutes each. Each interview. But anyway, I'm gonna give it I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
No, I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. I would say people, if you're not into like giallo films or murder mysteries or anything like that, this is not going to be for you.
No,
because it's a lot of time to invest. You know, 6 hours is a lot of time.
And if you're like really hardcore, you like the sleaze and the blood.
Yeah, you're not going to get that.
It's not going to be. It's none of that. This is straight murder mystery. So.
But yeah, like that for me, anyways, all positive, man. I think, and I don't watch a lot of TV, episodic TV or anything, even nowadays. But this would be one of the top, you know. I think this would have more for me, more rewatchability than actual Twin Peaks. But I do like that as well.
And see, that's the thing with me too. Like a TV series, there's not like my favorite TV series of all time is The Sopranos, but I don't even watch that once. I don't watch that once a year. You know what I mean? So
I think that's the problem nowadays, though. Isn't it? We've got everything. You know, we're obviously massive media buyers. We buy physical media and all that,
right.
And there's so much to do now. And in doing these podcasts as well is kind of, you know, time consuming, so you don't always get to see what you actually want to watch, or that don't make sense actually. You do get to see what you actually want to watch, but there's always other stuff.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah. We have to stay on track to cover it though. Yeah.
But sometimes, like the next film we're going to come to as well, sometimes you get to see stuff you don't want to watch. But
I don't know, man. I this is not going to get a high ranking for me, but that's going to be I'm not going to say great. This is a Wax Mask, and
but yeah, I'm only going on the way I feel about it because I generally don't know how much Dirk thinks about this film either. So it's going to be interesting.
It's directed by Sergio Stivaletti, but so the story is that I always mess this guy's name up. Is his name Michelle Suave?
I've heard people call him Michele Suave.
Michele Suave. I call him Michelle because it's the way it looks. But anyway.
I've heard that as well, man. Yeah.
Michele Suave, whatever, was at a film festival with Dario Argento. Okay.
And there's one Gizmo sent me in the week or a couple weeks ago.
Awesome. He was at a film
festival. Man. Sorry.
Yeah, he was at a film festival with Dario Argento and Michele Suave said, "Do you know who that is?" And he was pointing at a man sitting in a wheelchair, and Argento didn't know that was Fulci. So,
oh shit, man!
So, him and Fulci started talking, and they was like, they started getting along pretty good, So, they came to an agreement and said, "Let's do a remake of House of Wax, the old Vincent Price film." So they're getting all their ducks in a row, but Fulci was in pretty poor health. This is kind of funny though. So he's in pretty poor health, and then Argento was working on Stendhal syndrome, so he had to kind of pull away from it. Fulci wasn't healthy enough to do it. Fulci gave Claudio Fragasso his blessing to do the movie. He wanted him to do it. And Claudio said he looked at the script and then he looked at the budget and he's like, "This is a period film in the 1900s. This is going to be, this is going to cost a lot of money. Y'all don't have the budget to even do it." And so Fragasso was like, "No, never mind. I'm not going to do it." So anyway, Fulci died. And then when the movie was released, Argento unleashed at Fragasso and said, "You betrayed Lucio's will." That's what he told him. And Fragasso's wife said, "Well, if you love the project so much, why didn't you do it?"
The thing is, when Fragasso turns down a fucking film, it's going to be bad. But that's just my opinion. So, but carry on, Dirk.
Well, he was right though. Like they didn't have the money, and so this Sergio Stivaletti, he's a special effects guy. So Argento ended up getting him to take on the project, and he kind of hurt the film though, I think, with those, with the CGI bullshit, like that really, don't work. It don't work for it, but
it's very similar to the CGI in the Stendhal syndrome, which come, like you say, a year earlier. But I don't mind it in that film, but this, it just didn't work.
Well, I don't see the point. I mean, this was a special effects guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's because of the money, though. Again, it's always about the money, and a lot of times with these films.
Right.
But the script, he rewrote the script though. So he took, it was Argento and Fulci's, they collaborated and created the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, Fulci wrote the screenplay and Argento wrote the story or whatever. So I would have loved to seen what that would have been if we would have had a true collaboration between Fulci and Argento. You know,
Completely, absolutely, man. And
and I think
will
that's so
say,
awesome that they kind of made amends, and you know, because Argento speaks highly of Fulci. He kind of talked a little bit of shit at the beginning of like what I was seeing about him on these special features.
right?
But
Okay.
but there was one thing that like really got to me. I was like, damn. He said that Fulci was like really bad off with the diabetes, right? So his daughter, Fulci's daughter, was about to leave his house, and by the, you know, he's in a wheelchair, and she asked him if she needed to give him an insulin shot, and he said, "No, I'm a doctor. You know that. I'm not going to forget." So she left. She left Fulci, and well, Fulci watched movies every night, and he was watching a movie and forgot to take his insulin. So he reached and grabbed a piece of chocolate to eat a piece of chocolate because then it would kind of calm him down enough where he could take his shot or make a phone call or whatever he had to do. He couldn't swallow the chocolate. He couldn't swallow the chocolate. So when they found him, when they found Fulci, they found him reaching for the phone.
Oh,
he was going to call his daughter. And then, but Argento said that he went and seen the body. He went to see Fulci, and he said no one was there. And I got chills. I was like, what the hell? You know, like nobody. He said no other directors were there, no other writers, nobody was there when he went and seen Fulci, his dead body. And Argento paid for the whole funeral and everything. But it was like a really, you know, he did kind of praise him, but like I said, at the same time, at the very beginning, he was like saying that he copied him. You know what I mean? And I just don't feel that way, man.
There's no way. Maybe, like, actually, not even the Ijali films were much like Argento's.
No.
I think with that is the two of them obviously had massive respect. Even when they hated each other, they had massive respect for each other.
Yeah.
And I bet every time Fulci come out with one of his zombie films, I bet Argento was watching thinking, fuck me, man, how am I going to better that, you know? And the rivalry between the two worked in both of their favors because they were trying to up one another all the time.
If you listen to Fulci, what he says, like I was listening to him earlier on, it was so funny though. Like it's so funny. It's so more entertaining for me to watch Fulci talk than it is Argento because he's just so even though it's in Italian, you can see his mannerisms and he's real like, damn man, you know what I mean? But he's like saying that. What'd he say? He said Argento always says that I copy him, but I cannot. There's no possible way that I could copy him because I am a legend. I was like, holy
shit, man. But, the way he come out with some stuff.
Yeah, but it was hilarious because Fulci does admit, he said, if I copied anybody, I copied American films, but I didn't copy anything from Argento. I was like,
right. That reminds me so much of Umberto Lenzi as well. He was exactly
and him and Lindsay got along great, you know.
Yeah, which blows your mind when you think about it, yeah.
Right.
But it's so great to see that they finally made it, you know what? And he, like you say, he absolutely died penniless. Argento paid for his funeral. I'm glad that story has that ending.
Yeah.
But I did not know the stuff you said about Fulci reaching for the phone and stuff. Man, that's quite like heartbreaking in a way, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's reason alone enough. I know this has been out since 2019, but I highly recommend getting this released just because of that Argento interview is on there. I don't know. It might be on the same ones you got. I don't know. But
I've actually got the same release as you as well for this one, but I've not seen the extras.
okay. Okay. Awesome.
But now you've mentioned that, I want to, like,
yeah, I would definitely just go straight to that. I mean, I know you've seen the movie, so
I'm not a massive fan on the film, if I'm honest.
I'm not either. And it disappoints me when I watched it because I'm thinking the whole time. I like there's some things that I did like. You know what I mean? I like some of the stuff.
Yeah.
But it's easy to figure out. You know, it's very easy to figure out.
Right.
So that's already working against the film for me, you know.
Yeah. It's kind of like
it really hurt it bad for me. I do not like that shit at all. I mean, it looked really bad.
It's bad, yeah. But I think the actual effects in the film are fantastic. Yeah. I think that's one of the pluses. The practical effects
are good.
The whole wax, melting, and there's like a fire scene towards the end as well, and stuff. It's brilliantly done, man. If I had to praise one thing from the film, I would say that. But that kind of makes sense, knowing Stivaletti was a director as well.
Right.
But this had, for me, it had a really cheap Dracula 3D feel about it, if that makes sense. It's maybe the Argento kind of connection is Phantom of the Opera, maybe that type feel to it for me. It just didn't work at all.
It's the same special effects guy that was in Family Opera. He built that the rat killing machine and all that shit.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And he was like talking about that was just some kind of great thing that he did, And I was like, what in the shit? I don't know. It just
Stivaletti is pretty hit or miss. Some of the stuff he does fantastic. Demons, for instance. Demons films is fucking amazing.
Right.
Yeah, to just come on to a little bit of the plot of this, you've got this soon after this wax museum opens in Rome, you've got these two men. They kind of have a bet, don't they, whether the one will stay in the museum overnight.
Right.
Sorry, Dirk.
It starts out. Well, let's go before that though. There's a couple murdered in Paris.
Oh right, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple that's murdered in Paris, and this black. He looks like the regular, Giallo killer, I guess you'd say. He's got that look to him, but it's
all
set
in black.
All in black. Got the black cloak and hat, top hat, and all that. But he kills both of them brutally. Rips out. I showed it in the intro. He rips out the guy's heart. And there's a little girl under the bed. She's freaked out. And Inspector comes and gets her. And then years pass, and like what you were saying, there's these two guys at a brothel, right?
Yeah.
And one bets the other one, I bet you won't stay the night in this museum, this wax museum. And I think it was 20 lira. So, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
In 1900, what the heck? Because that's why I went over what I said earlier with it. $1 American dollar today is 1,815 lira. So,
So, yeah, you can imagine what that was back in probably, I don't know, penny or something, not even that.
Yeah. But it had to be something back then, for them. But because he's thinking, okay, I'm going to win this bet. And because he's talking to the whore prostitute chick. And she's like, oh, we can stay drunk and, if we win that 20 lira and all this shit. But But yeah, you can go ahead, man. You want?
Yeah. So you've got Sonia, the main character. She goes to this wax museum in search of a job. She's beautiful as well. I'll tell you what, she's a fantastic looking lady. She kind of applies. There's these two real freaky assistants. This wax museum boss has got. they're really freaky. You can't put your finger on it, but they just look.
Well, dude's got both sides of his head shaved. You know,
yeah,
he's got this weird looking hairdo, and then the other dude is scarred the fuck up and got a bad eye. It's
like
white.
a bad eye. Yeah,
He looks kind of like an ogre type guy, you know, from Frankenstein.
But there is some decent stuff in this. Like one of the scenes that I liked as well is you get this shot of like a drawing of a little girl, but then it goes into a real face, and I thought that was fucking amazing. You know, this figure in black, you know, then breaks through the window and kind of injects her. And we're not sure at this point whether that's the little girl or, you know, from before. There's a funny scene as well. I shouldn't laugh because obviously child deaths are not funny. But with the little boy as well, when he like basically abducts him and injects him, I don't know. I just find that funny.
Well, you didn't catch that though, did you?
What's that?
That little boy, I don't think he killed him.
No, because apparently it slows the heart rate rather than kills them off. Because I don't know what without spoiling it. Like, should we say?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. But put it this way, I think there's parts of the plot that are similar to Tourist Trap. I'll just go as far as that. But yeah, there's some really decent things in it. You know, you've got the mechanical hand from the first scene as well, the first murder. The killer seems to have like this metallic hand. I like kind of like the Jack the Ripper figure as well. They showed that they made
big time.
Yeah, decent stuff, man. But I mean, it's here and there, decent stuff here and there. The whole film just does not work as a whole for me. I mean, people might see it differently.
It's gore. It's got the gore and it's got the nudity. I mean, it has that.
Yeah. It's definitely got the nudity because that one leading girl was amazing, man. She gets topless. But I don't know.
The story is not very strong though, and
it's kind of easy, like you say, to work out.
And like I said, Argento was preoccupied with Stendhal syndrome, so all he did was produce it, you know. Or
there's no Argento stamp at all or anything here. No. It's kind of like you can see how Stivaletti was kind of threw into this project and just.
I don't even think he produced it. It's Colombo. Some guy at Colombo produced it.
Yeah.
It's just got Argento's name on it.
Oh, is it Dario Presents probably then? Is it?
Right. Yeah, that's right. So he was like an executive producer.
Well, that's strange then, because maybe he was going to produce the film, seen the fucking or had some kind of deal behind the scenes, seen how bad it was, and took his name off. That would not surprise me.
I don't think because it's a loss. I will watch it again, even though it's a 4 out of 10. So.
Oh God, fucking hell! I give it like 5. I give it 1 point more than you. I thought you liked it a bit more.
I did, but then like I liked it in the beginning, like everything that was happening, and then it gets to a certain point of the film, and you're like, shit, it falls off.
So yeah, the whole murder scene at the start is fantastic. Yeah. The middle is shit, but I really like the last 15 minutes, and all the effects and even though it's easy to work out. Go on.
I started getting Reanimator vibes in a way.
Yeah.
Big time. I was like,
kind of, yeah. There's definitely that kind of sort of undercurrent, like. But the whole twist as well, like you say, we won't spoil it, but you probably know within less than an hour. Would you say? Probably 40 minutes of
for sure. You're gonna know within less than an hour.
But I will say there's kind of another twist towards the end, which I didn't see coming. Regarding the characters and
it's very weird to me too that they would do the choice they made at a point of the film where it's like Terminator.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I know what you mean. Yeah,
what the
it's
heck?
maybe kind of going a little bit. So when's the Terminator? When was that brought out?
Oh, Terminator, the first one, or
Yeah,
that was '84.
84. So this is what 13 years
But
after.
Terminator 2 came out when? Um,
That would have been nearer. Yeah, that would have been nearer at the time. So maybe they were going a little bit for that.
Yeah, I guess, but that's very strange for a film that's supposed to take place in 1900. You know?
Yeah. It's all over the place, isn't it? In terms of
it's kind of like you can tell that and I don't mean to be like this, but you can tell that that's a special effects guy, and he had something just thrown in his lap. Here, you do it. You know, like
there's no. That's a great way of putting it. There's no flair to any of the direction in this film at all. It's basically just fucking shot.
Yeah.
You know, special effects, special effects.
Yeah.
The fucking acting is appalling, I think.
Yeah.
But because of the whole backstory, it's worth getting. It's worth, like you say, I've not dipped into the special features, but I mean, it's got to be worth it just for the whole.
It's
you know, if you're an Argento or Fulci fan, just to have in your collection anyway.
Yeah.
You know, obviously don't pay full price. Pay, you know, get in a sale or something.
I got this on sale. I paid, I think it might have been $12 or something, you know.
I think I did as well. Plus it comes with a slip. I don't know whether you'll be able to do that now, but yeah, kind of a misfire for me. I'm going to give it a very generous 5 out of 10, but more in the lines of maybe a 4. But I don't know if you've got anything else you want to say on it.
There's really not a whole lot to it. I mean, it's kind of like a bad version of House of Wax, you know. So,
yeah.
If you want to watch House of Wax, just watch the damn Vincent Price one. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, I'm probably giving it too much respect when I mention Tourist Trap because it's the fucking poles apart.
It's nowhere near the as good as Tourist Trap. I don't think.
No, not even in the same fucking conversation. Really, it shouldn't be. But yeah. But yeah, I would say, you know, not recommended, but I mean, if you're curious, definitely give it a go. You're not going to lose a lot anyway, but $12 or whatever. You know.
No, it's worth it alone, like we said, for the special features.
Absolutely.
To hear Argento talk good on Fulci was awesome. I was like, damn, and it was like really the whole story. You know, just it hit hard when I was listening to that shit. I was like, holy shit, you know. But
yeah, I can't wait to actually see that now. I'm excited to see that now, actually.
And this movie only made I couldn't find the budget, but it only made like $250,000. So it made $250,000.
Right, shit, that is bad, isn't it? And the only thing you can really like compare it to around the same time would be the Stendhal Syndrome, which came out a year earlier. But I mean, again, Phantom of the Opera, I think, was a year after this as well, 98. So
that makes sense. Yeah,
you can you know, all 90s films of that era got kind of look the same, didn't they? You know, even Stendhal to a certain degree.
And I do need to. I do need to go back to Stendhal though. Like,
I want to cover that in detail.
Yeah, we will.
Either on here.
For me to check it out again and give it a.
Would you cover it on here, or would you rather do it on like a Eurocult episode, maybe? Stendhal, I'm talking about.
We could probably do it on here, you know.
Oh, I'd love to, man. And go deep. I mean,
yeah,
we could go deep. But yeah, man. I don't know if you got anything else to say on Wax.
There's really nothing else to the Wax.
Yeah.
The biggest part to me was what I said about Argento and Fulci. I just thought that was amazing. But
yeah, I think we got everything.
I think it's a little fun, turn your brain off, gore fest with nudity if you want to do that. I mean, go for it.
That's a great way actually of putting it. Just, you know, if you're going to watch 2 films in one night, then put this on as a little like teaser to get you, you know, and then maybe go for one of Fulci's best films afterwards.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to watch it.
It's just so disappointing to know that never happened and it was going to happen. You know what I mean? That's the big thing about the wax mask. But
oh god, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, but they might have killed each other if they would have, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, knocking heads.
I don't know. Well, Fulci would have been fucking hard to do anything in the wheelchair, you know. But
I'm just saying,
no,
like,
I know you're only joking. That would have been, would have been amazing. Just that one final film.
let's see. I'm gonna go through the chat right quick.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Steve, he says waiting on a cell for Private Crimes. Yeah.
Oh, because I think Steve will have to maybe talk about it tomorrow, but I think he's watched a little bit of it and couldn't get into it, if I remember rightly, or maybe didn't give it enough time.
And that's something we didn't talk about either. So if I just want to bring that up that we forgot to mention about Private Crimes. You got to read it. You have to read it.
Yeah.
You got to read it all the way. There's no English track, so
that doesn't bother me. But I can see why it
a lot of people.
Yeah. But Steve saying that, I highly recommend you give it the full fucking treatment and watch it over like 4 nights, maybe.
Yeah. You got to pay close attention to.
It's fantastic, honestly. I think it's under like one of the gems, because every so often you get something, not very often, but you get something that kind of you think, fuck, that blew me away, and that did, you know. And Martino as well. What one more can you want?
Yeah. Gizmo says we get German, Spanish, Italian, and UK show every year during Eastern in Norway, the biggest normally. Okay.
Oh, I would love to have seen that.
Chris says he needs to get it when it goes on sale too. Don't know if I have seen the entire show in the 90s, but I remember up episode 2, and I think I remember the ending with the train, but I was 10 to 13 years old. Okay. Damn, man, you was watching that kind of shit at 10, 13? Did I freeze?
No, I'm on.
Okay. Oh. I thought I was freezing up. Let's see. Chris says like an Italian Law and Order series or a SVU version of it. I don't know. No,
it's kind of one on the only way you can describe it is a giallo film, but in a TV like
but
form.
With no blood,
with no So you've got all the exactly. You've got all the murder mystery elements.
Yeah.
You've got all these giallo actors, actresses.
These great production designs, just like the giallo, you know.
The great backdrop of Luca in Italy and all that. It's kind of one on its own, because I can't remember many giallo TV series, if any. So
shit, the only thing that would be close would be like maybe like a Hitchcock, the old Hitchcock show or something.
You know? Yeah.
But that was never like this, a 6-part deal or nothing, or
No, I can't think of anything like this. But I hope people get the vibe for this now. I hope it does really well, because I looked on Letterboxd and I was kind of fearing the worst when I put my score in, thinking, I bet people don't like this now and shit. And it fucking 4 or 5, stars. A lot of them 4.5 stars out of 5.
Good.
So people are fucking digging it, man. You know, and fair play, man, to fucking it's Severin, isn't it? Yeah. Fair play to Severin for bringing that shit out now.
Yeah, man.
Props for that, big time.
Gizmo says the scene in the park when the girl run away and they have the dolly shot around the guy, then you see the eyes of the killer. That scene makes no sense.
He's on about the scene with the peeping Tom character and Chiara, I think, yeah.
And he says, for a movie worker like me, it felt like the producer was pissing money on the film. Every fucking scene had some expensive technical work to it. And that's Edwidge. That's, she was just going from what Martino basically had free reign, from what I gathered.
I'm surprised Gizmo didn't like it as much as I thought, actually.
Let's see. This will be Darren's Lord of the Rings.
It kind of is, man. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite TV series ever.
There is Gizmo's favorite thing, CGI. Yeah, he's a big fan of that. I think Wax Mask is fun, not great, but I wish Fulci did it. There's some great shit in what Fulci wanted, but the CGI is such small shit in the film. And that's something else that I didn't mention about the Sergio Stivaletti. He said he didn't add any scenes and he didn't take away any scenes, like the number, but he changed the script. They rewrote this whole entire script. And I'm just like, why would you do that? But I mean, I guess put your own mark on it, I guess.
Maybe out of respect for Fulci, to put his own mark on it.
I just would have loved to have seen what they had done, him and Argento.
Here we go. I was digging out some of my old magazines, and
okay,
there's one called Delirium from back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And there's actually like a fucking decent interview with Sergio Stivaletti at the time this was made. So this is like a 1990s magazine.
Oh, damn.
Which I was reading, but it doesn't give you a lot of decent information, if I'm honest. But I thought I'd just bring that up. Some of these are great if you can get them on eBay.
That's cool. That's Tenebrae on the cover.
Yeah, the killer in Tenebrae.
Let's see. Gizmo says the Terminator ending is pure fun in the film.
I think it's one of the best things of the film. The ending.
It's fun. I mean, I was cracking.
It's goofy, but yeah. And I mean, it makes you think twice when you actually see what is going on. You think like it's a what the fuck moment in a way.
Yeah. Chris says, "What could have been amazing?" Yeah, man.
But we gotta feel thankful that we've got what we got from Fulci anyway.
Yeah,
it would have been great to see that. But think of all the films that we got, man. Yeah.
Gizmo says Argento talked shit about Fulci for 20 years. Fulci died just after he met Argento. Argento killed Fulci. Come on, Dirk, preach. Yeah, I was thinking that shit too, especially when he's talking about
man.
When I was listening to Argento talk about eating the chocolate and reaching for the phone. I was like, "Yo, shit," like ain't that some shit? But yeah,
that's a fucking Giallo fucking story in itself.
Yeah. Very retro film. Yeah. Castellar Daniel Garcia, man. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, man.
Video. Cat in the Brain is the best documentary about Fulci ever. It is just an amazing, fun movie. Nazi group sex.
This is where I piss Gizmo off again. I just cannot fucking get past like 10, 15 minutes of that film, Cat in the Brain. I've tried. I've tried numerous times, like 3-4 times now.
Yeah.
And I get to 10 minutes and I just can't fucking do it. It just doesn't work for me.
Sometimes you just gotta trudge. What they say, trudge through the shit.
Yeah. But it put me in a false sense of security where a couple of months' time I'll be like, oh yeah, I gotta fucking watch that again. And I'll have exactly the same fucking reaction. 10 minutes, no, off.
Just watch it in 5-minute increments. Watch 5 minutes and turn it off for a couple hours. I mean,
it might very well be something that I click with after like 20, 30 minutes if I actually sit with it.
It might be.
And I'm sure I'm sure it's going to come up at some point in what we're doing here and that. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chris brings up T2 is 91. Yeah, that makes sense because with the whole Guns N' Roses and shit, you could be mine and shit.
Yeah.
Gizmo says Wax Mask would have been a lot better if they did it as a present time 90s film and focus more on gore and nudity. It has shot quality, but
completely agree.
But
it should never have been a period piece because they just didn't have the budget to back that.
He says, but that's on cinema. It came during the prime time of VHS DVD, so it made its money times 10 when it went out on physical, I believe. Okay.
I can see that, yeah.
But see, that's the thing, though. Like, that's what they agreed on. You know, Argento and Fulci, they were like, what are we going to make? Let's make something, you know? And they were both wanting to do, they agreed on House of Wax, so a remake. So
it seems to me that Dario was all for it, you know, while Fulci was going to direct. And he kind of, from what I can gather, reading between the lines, he's kind of like just thought, fuck it, get in whoever, you know, Stivaletti or whatever, and kind of wiped his hands with it a little bit because he knew it wasn't going to be good, you know.
Rabbi Islam, face purple crying. That's
hey man,
that's an emoji. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, the park scene I wrote was wrong. It is not a dolly shot. It is, of course, Steadicam. They did the same shot 7 years later on an episode of Beck. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The cinematographer, Rosenlund, his name, got a Swedish Oscar for that shit. He stole it. Well, you know what they say about night train murders, stealing shit. So you overlooked that. So
I'm still night train murders all the way, man.
Let's see. Darren, try and watch it and think it is Fulci giving the middle finger to all the women who said he was a predator.
Yeah, he's on about cat in the brain. I totally get that, and I know, you know, a lot of, you know, the storyline and what's behind it and all that, and it's kind of like a biopic of what you know, Fulci's life. But I just need to get over that fucking 20-minute mark, I think, and give it a full go.
And Chris says, sad to know he died penniless, a word of caution. Yeah, he did, but listening to him today, he wasn't bothered by it. He was like, you know, I got what I wanted. I got everything that I wanted. I'm happy. And there's something else he said about Argento. He said, because I mean, I'm sure this is before they made up and shit, but it's like right before because he's in a wheelchair. And he was saying, he said, he is in his own nightmares. He's in his own. He said he's in his own nightmares, and I sleep peacefully in my dreams.
So he's being sarcastic, basically.
I was like, damn.
He's got some of those old interviews. He's got such a good sense of humor, Lucio.
That's something else he said too. That Argento had no humor in his films. That it didn't work.
Oh, I don't know about that. There's definitely humor in.
He said they didn't work like his did. You know.
I agree they didn't work. But he's definitely got humor in like Bird with Crystal Plumage and Four Flies with the old God character in Four Flies and stuff. But yeah. It doesn't work in an Argento film comedy.
I wrote this quote down from Fulci though, because it cracked me up. I was like, "What the shit?" So I forgot to mention it, but I'm gonna go ahead and mention it now. Okay, he says, he said, an actor will always accept a part of a priest or a homosexual. An actress will accept 2 roles or one as a whore.
That's just him being mischievous, I think. Because his daughter was saying, actually, on in one of the interviews, she was actually saying he wasn't misogynistic in any way. Yeah. He actually liked a lot of his female actresses, you know, and it was just all a big myth because he was just as bad apparently to fucking male actors, if not more, on set and stuff. So yeah, he had. I was going to say with the psychic as well. I didn't mention, but he had a great rapport with Mark Perel as well. They were really close after he filmed "Don't Torture a Duckling," and they stayed in contact. and all that, and I thought that was really good. But with you saying about Fulci, he actually died penniless because he was actually a gambler. He liked the horses a lot.
And he bought a bunch of shit. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, he bought a big ass, he bought boats, and he didn't
While he had the money, he just squandered it. But he was never like you say, he was never like worried about that in his later days.
No, he was living life.
Never played. Yeah, he never played the victim. That's what I was going to say.
He didn't have any regrets.
Yeah. You kind of knew he wasted the fucking lot, and he owned up to it. And,
but if you think about it this way, though, did he really waste it? I mean, he lived his life the way he wanted.
He enjoyed, exactly. He had his fair share of women.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think it's quite sad that his daughter has become.
He didn't leave nothing for them, but I'm sure they're making shit off of him now. I would imagine.
She's actually Antonella's actually going through, like, I don't know if it's cancer, but I think it's cancer. And someone on Facebook's put up like a GoFundMe for her, so they're raising money, which is great. But yeah, you would think in royalties that she would be getting money, through Fulci's movies, but I don't think that's the case. I think she's on her ass as well as Fulci was, to be honest. But I mean, if people watching this now have got a few quid to spare and want to, like, I'm sure if you Google it, you can get the GoFundMe page up and add to her, give us some money towards this fight for cancer. And touch wood is curable and all that. Sorry about that. I just wanted to get that in.
Oh, you're right. I'm going to just read a couple more of these comments. Let's see. Yeah. And then Gizmo's, I know Gizmo, like, we keep talking about The Last House on Night Train, and I know that you're with The Last House now. It's cool. I'm glad you finally seen the light, because he says, Night Train stole so much shit from Last House, and I was so wrong when we did that versus stream. But
take that with a pinch of salt when Gizmo said it.
House by the Cemetery, Bob, laugh out loud every time I hear it.
That is pretty bad. Yeah, that fucking voice. It's like a little girl.
The thing about it is, it ain't the kid. It's the voice actor.
It's the voice.
Yeah. It's the voice actress doing Bob's voice.
I actually think the guy Giovanni Fraser, I think his name is, actually does a good job towards the end of that film, where he's portraying being frightened, by
the little kid. Is fine. Everybody's pissed off at the little kid, but don't be pissed off at him. It's the voice actor.
That's he actually said that, in one of the interviews or one of the Q&As he did. He said, "Don't be pissed off at me. I was just fucking." But it's a woman's voice as well, which is strange. It's really fucking strange.
It is. I just crack up every time now when I watch it, though.
I don't hate it. It's bad. It is bad. But I mean,
it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Chris says, "Hate that kid, wild, whiny little bitch." And let's see. I want to die penniless, but I don't want to live penniless. Yeah, I heard that.
I think that's the plan.
Yeah. And maybe leave something for my family.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think it was a pretty decent stream. We covered these. I'd never seen Wax Mask, so that's cool. Of course, we never seen Private Crimes either, but
I'd seen Wax Mask, but it's been so long I didn't remember much about it. I remember not liking it, obviously. Private Crimes for me was just, like I say, I could go on all night about that. I loved it. And the Psychic is always great to watch, man.
Yeah. I mean, and this right here is fun if you've never seen it. It's a fun.
It's not. It's a misfire, but it's not at all. It's watchable.
Don't get me wrong. When I give it a 4, it's because there's a lot of shit wrong with the movie, like technical shit. There's, the story's not strong. It's easily figured out, so it's not going to be. I can't rank it as high as, House of Wax with Vincent Price. There's no way. But
it's got its charms about some of it, the ending and stuff like that. So don't completely write it off if you've never seen it. I would definitely give it a one-time watch. Like,
Yeah,
you know.
for sure. And
I have got in a minute if you want. It'll probably only take a couple of minutes. But I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a book to show off. Like in what I've got recently.
Yeah, that's cool.
We'll go for the comments and stuff, though. We got plenty of time if you're okay.
Yeah. Gizmo says, The Cat in the Brain is really ambiguous. If you understand it, you will see it tells that Fulci loved night train murders, and Dausch Last House was the greatest film of them all.
And Dausch was the shit.
Yeah. What's Dausch?
I think he means, and that was the shit.
I think it's a
Last Taste was shit, basically. I think is it? Yeah, like a typo.
Yeah, he can't say Last House is shit. Come on now, we know better than that.
No, he's just winding you up. I think.
Good stream, gents. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, cheers, Chris, man.
Tex says great stream. Thanks, man.
Cheers, Tex.
Good stream, Darren. Hope your kid gets better. God bless. Yeah, man.
Thank you a lot. Yeah, he's getting there. You know, you got a follow up appointment, but you know, touch wood, everything will be fine.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody being in the chat and checking this out. If you're checking this out, 100 years from now, then I'm probably dead, but that's cool anyway. And I guess it don't matter if you like and subscribe 100 years from now. So
yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed the stream and you want to share the stream in any way through Facebook or have you, then please do so, guys, and try and get us a few more subscribers and watches and that, because we appreciate each and every one of you. I mean, like, these are fun to do anyway. We would do them anyway, but to have your kind of input and comments and all just makes it so much better. Love it, man. Love hearing all different people's thoughts as well.
Yeah, and we all know that Last House is still the superior film.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to. I almost agree to it, but no. But yeah, any guys in the chat or feel, hopefully Dirk don't mind me saying so. If they want to come on to a stream or got an idea or anything, then just hit us up, man.
Yeah, hit us up.
I could go through these if you want me to, Dirk, just quickly.
Yeah.
It'd probably take less than a couple of minutes, not even that. So I bought this new book called Giallo, Genre, Modernity, and Detection in Italian Horror Cinema. I've just started it because I got the bookmark there. But it's really good, the first part. So I don't know if anyone's interested. You probably get it for about £20 on UK Amazon.
Okay.
Cool. So a few films I got Houseboat Horror. Gizmo's probably laughing. This is like an Australian slasher. It's supposed to be really bad, but I mean, fucking hell, I think it was like 20 UK pound. I've got to get it, man. I've got to watch every slasher ever made. I got Dark Glasses, which I've seen, but I've never got.
I need to pick that up. I give that a 5 out of 10.
Oh man, I tell you, with Dark Glasses, it's a bit like Private Crime to me. Like, I like it like a 7, 8 out of 10.
Oh shit.
Yeah, kind of. It's just got.
It is man who has created this terrible immorality that threatens to destroy everything that's good in our society.
Sorry.
But we're going to be doing that at some point. So.
Yeah.
Boarding. Got Boarding House, which is, I think it was cheap with a slipcover. I thought it's not great, but I
remember seeing that slip, and I remember when that came out. But that's a recent pickup, though, right?
Yeah, it was on sale.
I should.
Talking about slashers.
Let me know if it's good.
It's basically like a shot on video. I don't think you'll like it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not big on that shit.
It's really cheap. This is another really bad one, cheap, Disconnected. But I had the VHS for so long, it's kind of got a chance to it. There's only a couple more to go. Night Ripper, which I've never seen, but I've heard a lot about, like a 1986 slasher. And the last one, I think I've showed it before, but is the Steelbook of Deliverance, which I fucking love that film.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, just a few things.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, that's all of them.
Okay. Let me get back to it. Awesome. Well, I guess we're gonna get the hell up out of here, man. Well, I got a couple more comments to read, and then we'll get.
Yeah,
out.
no worries, man.
I forgot to show these. They don't matter. Let me show this right quick. I'm gonna pull us out. Well, I can do it up here. I don't have to pull nothing out. So. I just love this. This is the best. This is the best Fulci cameo out of any film I've seen with Fulci. But I'm gonna just show this picture right quick. It's on the thumbnail, by the way. But I'm gonna show it right fast.
Holy shit, man!
Yeah,
I've never seen that. That from.
It's Contraband.
Yeah, I was gonna say Contraband. Yeah.
Let me read. Let me go to the comments. Let's see. Texas says he meant thought. Okay. Gizmo loves Last House on the Left. I know, Gizmo. We know. Hell yeah. Dark Glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really surprised.
Like I said, I give it a 5 out of 10. But
I would say go back to that as well. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong or anything, but I mean,
yeah,
I definitely give it a strong 7. It's kind of amazing that he come out with a decent film after all this time. It just went against everything I thought, you know.
And Gizmo says I ordered Border House, so I get it in a few days.
It's bad, but yeah.
Night Ripper was a piece of shit. I liked it. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. But
I have Night Ripper from VS. Did you like it, Chris? Darren, you seen The Sleeper 2012 slasher?
Yeah, funny enough, I've got it. Yeah, I really like this. It's kind of a slasher that's set in the 1980s. It's kind of a retro. Yeah, I really like that a lot. I'm trying to think if I got it on my shelf. Did have it on my shelf down there at one point, but I can't see it at the moment. But yeah, I really like that. I really like that one.
Gizmo says, or I give Night Ripper 3 out of 10, so I keep it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
I keep anything that's a slasher. Really. Doesn't matter what it is.
That's great. That belongs on a T-shirt.
The Fulci
thing.
Yeah,
it does, man. It really does. But yeah, that's my favorite cameo for sure.
They're all entertaining, though.
Contraband is a great damn film, man. I really like it. It's kind of like a Godfather ripoff, but I really dig it.
Yeah, got Fabio Testa. It's one I've got to see at some point.
It's got the gore though, like in his horror. It's so weird to see that in that kind of movie. It's like shit looks like shit from Gates of Hell or The Beyond or some shit, like the bodies and shit. I don't know, it's crazy. But,
right, yeah.
But well, man, I guess we'll get the hell up out of here. And I appreciate everybody.
Do you want to plug Eurocult tomorrow? Or?
Yeah. I forgot. We got Eurocult in the AM, or it's going to be in the PM for Darren, bro.
It's 3 p.m. UK time, so I think it's 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, it's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central, where I'm at. And I think for Gizmo, where he's at, it's like 4.
Yeah. It's going to be on Dead Pit's channel, and hopefully we're going to do it live every 2 weeks on that channel from now on. And I think it's free as well. So if you can't get to it early, then hopefully you can tune in on repeat or something. And we're covering The Exorcist, which I need to watch actually after this stream.
Chris says,
I have seen it, but I mean I need to take notes.
Chris says, I just got Night Ripper, so have not watched it yet. Shitload I need to watch. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, I'm the same.
It's not funny that you have a slasher, Darren. Do you have 22?
Yeah, add a couple of notes to that.
You forgot to talk about all the nudity in Private Crimes. Yeah, because there is none.
Exactly, yeah.
And all the gore. Yeah.
It kind of worked for me that it didn't have nudity in a way.
Yeah.
Because with the Edwige character, she just totally just acts, and we don't have to rely on any topless
she's
shots.
like, she ain't got to do that shit anymore. And it's made for TV, too. So I appreciate it, Trini, man.
Yeah, man, thanks.
Y'all take it easy. No matter, it will take exactly 1 second to talk about. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, we're going to get the hell up out of here. Y'all take it easy. Have a good rest of your weekend. Stay safe and all that good shit,
Have a good one, guys, and we'll catch you next time.